All right. Today's episode will be called Three Hollises.
The Three Hollises.
The Three Hollises. So, welcome home from New York, big guy.
Thank you for having me.
Good. I told you that you could do a podcast if you were here, and so you're here, so you can do a pod with us.
Little pod. That's what the kids are calling it.
Yeah?
Who calls it a pod besides Tim?
Hey, he's the youngest kid I know.
Well, I mean, it's called a pod, guys.
All right.
All right, so what's going on today, gentlemen?
Well, I came out here to record a podcast with you and was surprised by the arrival of your child.
He's here for Jack's graduation tomorrow. Shout out to Jack graduating.
I'd like to point out that I did not get an invitation to Jack's graduation.
Oh,
It's funny that you mentioned that because the neighbors gave us an invitation for Ethan's graduation, and I told Brandy, I said, well, we're already going to be there because Jack's graduating. And she said, no, well, sending out invitations, what you're supposed to do. And I said, oh. So I went to Nikki and I said, hey, are we sending out invitations for Jack's graduation? And she was like, no.
Well, I mean, I remember getting one for his, but what always rings true in my head about graduation was Wesley Waters was mad at me because I did not invite him to my graduation because I didn't send out invitations and I didn't think about it. He's like, well, if I'd gotten that invitation, I would have given you like $200.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
And if I'd gotten Jack's invitation, I would have given him some money.
Well, he's graduating, so you can give him some money.
I thought he already graduated.
He graduated from Columbia State, but not at Fairview High.
I mean, I thought he already had his graduation is what I mean.
Oh, well, you can go to it. It's tomorrow at 7.
Well, it actually might work out because Sam needs to go to Burns, and that might actually work out.
I don't know. I think there's like a lot of things like nowadays, like sending like graduation invites that's like expected. And for me, and like, I feel like for our whole family, it's always been like, but why? Like,
well, yeah,
we want to go through that effort. And it's like, mom will always take the pictures and she'll always like.
Well, it's the same as like cards. Do people?
No.
Like, it's only old people that get people cards anymore. Because what are you going to do? You get a nice, loving card from somebody. You open it. There's probably a check or some cash or something in it. And then what do you do with it? You're like, oh, well, I'm just going to store this away.
I'm going to put this in this drawer because it's sentimental to me.
Yeah, and then
in 2 years when I finally clean out that drawer, I'm going to throw it away.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But I actually, now that I think about it, I don't remember getting an invitation to your graduation.
Sorry.
But I was at least told about it because we were just talking about this because on the way to his graduation, Jack was in the Jeep with me and we had that wreck.
Oh yeah, that's right. Out in front of the...
Yeah. By that drunk driver that I T-boned.
I don't remember making like the whole invitation card, but I'm sure I did. I just don't remember it at all though. So maybe
it's because you're getting old.
Yeah, I'm getting pretty old.
I mean, you just bought beer. Well, actually, I bought beer. You bought cigars.
Bottoms up.
Yeah, Haydn turned 21 in January, so the plan is to have a cigar and have a brew and be men.
I've finally become a man. Balls have dropped.
We'll see. We'll see about that. So anyway, Jack graduates tomorrow. That'll be good. How long are you here for, Haydn?
I'm here until, well, today, as of recording this, it's Thursday. Just flew in this morning. And I'm going to be here until next Sunday. So I fly back the first week of June.
So almost long enough to charge you rent for a week or so?
You don't got to do all that. I feel like it's like a gift my presence is, you know?
So where would this gift be sleeping?
Well, I'm supposed to be sleeping in the basement where Granddad was, but then apparently Eli and Taylor and Freya are going to be here for the weekend, so they're going to stay in the basement, and then I'm going to get an air mattress probably in the office, and then I get to move back in after they're gone.
You could always share the bed with Jack.
Or not.
Yeah,
hypothetically.
Yeah. Well, it'll all work itself out. It'll be fine.
I think that your plans for having the basement turning into like where your kids can stay when they're here is a good idea, except for the problem is you have too many kids.
I know they'll all be here together. Well, I think that Eli trumps Haydn in this situation because he has a wife and kids. Now it gets complicated, wife and kid. It'll get more complicated when Hayden's married or Jack's married and have kids and everybody moves away and then they all come in and you're going to have to decide who gets the basement.
No, it was called a fucking hotel.
Yeah,
The Deerfield Inn.
The Deerfield Inn in Fairview. I think I'd probably rather stay in one of the bedrooms or something.
I'd rather sleep on an air mattress. You can always sleep in come stay in Antioch and sleep in Sam's bed.
Well, I feel like we forget that them renovating that whole like basement was like really, really nice. I remember whenever I came here the first time after it was all renovated and Granddad was out, I was like, dang, there's like a shower, there's bathroom, there's like a whole room, you can have TV, kitchen, like everything was like just really perfectly set up. And so whenever I came down here, I was like, did I get an Airbnb or something? Like, this is nice. Plus they're cooking for me. I'm like, this is like the best day ever.
You could cook for yourself because there's a functioning kitchen down there too.
It's true.
But you have to wait for Eli to leave.
That's true.
It is.
Unless you cook him and Freya breakfast.
I can do that.
You gonna cook me breakfast?
I'll take care of you.
You gonna bring it to me at home?
I'll drive it all the way over there.
In what?
To-go box? I don't know.
No, what are you gonna drive it to me in? You don't have a car.
Granddad's car. As long as Jack's not working.
For all of you guys that, for anybody listening, this is probably a good time to talk about this. But my neighbors are the parents and grandparents of a group of people, a company called Bloodline Group Construction, and they redid the deck with the money that we received for Hayden's car.
I was wondering.
We were talking about that.
I was wondering why, because whenever you first got the settlement for the car, you're like, I need you to find Hayden another car. I'm like, what's my budget? Oh, like $6,000. I'm like, okay. And I never heard anything else about it again. And then your deck got done. So it all makes sense.
Yeah, I abandoned that idea because Hayden comes a couple times a year.
No.
Comes a couple times a year.
This is a very sensitive subject to him. He's real frustrated.
I've expressed my needs for this car.
Oh, okay.
Well, at least to mother.
Okay, well, hold on.
You could buy your own car.
Yes, you are 21 years old. You live in New York City, so A, you don't need a car, and B, you're 21 years old. Buy your own fucking car.
Now I'm hurt because I talked to you about my situation, and now you're going back on me.
No, I mean, it's weird. If you can make it work.
Here's what I wanted. First of all, Gramps had cars for all of us. So yes, I'm 21. I could buy my own car.
Hold on, you are correct. Gramps had cars for all of you. And what did you do with the car that Gramps gave you?
We're not talking about that one.
I was gonna say we need to pause, Hayden, because you wrecked the car.
Okay, but this one was mine.
Okay.
We all agreed that this one was mine. And so whenever I went off to New York, sure, Jack's learning how to drive. Like let him use it. That's cool.
It became Jack's car, by the way.
While I was gone, but whenever I'm in town, it's my car. Okay. And so
I would venture to say that had Jack not totaled said car, and you came to town this week, it would still be Jack's car because he's got to get to work.
My plan was to have a car up in New York or New Jersey because I have friends that live like on the outskirts of New York or in New Jersey, and I'd like to park my car there. And then you know how New York's just very fast paced. It's not really like my vibe, as I've told you and corrected you on.
Yeah, I said that in another pod, and he got upset about it.
Yeah, that was our podcast. I remember that. He was pretty upset about that.
Okay, you guys are acting like I threw a whole fit about it. I was just like, no.
You acted like a little bitch. It's okay.
All right, cool. This is a good podcast, guys. I think we can go ahead and just shut it off right now.
He warned you.
So my plan was I wanted to have a car up there just to be able to get away from the city whenever I need to. I really enjoy driving. It makes me feel very like free in a sense. And so that was the whole idea of it. But then we decided that fuck Haydn, I guess, you know?
No, I'm just joking with you. I understand why you want a car up there. I support this decision. You should be able to get the fuck out of New York City if you wanted to.
Thank you, Uncle.
But I do appreciate the whole fuck Haydn part of this too.
Okay, I take back my thank you.
Well, the way I see it is I would like to help you as much as possible, my middle son. But you get to the same with Jack. If something happens with this car right here, I mean, I ain't buying any more cars.
Well, I've also like told Mom like we can like look for a car and like potentially like split it. Like I'm cool with that too. And I
split it.
Hold on. You guys were already like fine with paying for a new car.
Until he spent that money on his deck.
Okay, yes.
From Bloodline Group.
From Bloodline.
Call them up.
Yeah.
If you need anything. Let go.
It's coming.
Oh.
I can't. I couldn't see it happening. Oh. No, I mean, look, I found that Honda for you. I can find you another car. You just have to come up with how you're going to pay for it.
Yeah, we'll help you out, big guy. It's not all is lost. Just because you don't have a car here right now, we'll get it figured out.
Of course, the used car market is a lot more strenuous than it was when we got that car.
I was gonna say that seems like a steal right there.
Yeah, it's hard to find a cheaper used vehicle now. They've been holding their value pretty good.
And I get it. I'm going through it with Sam because he's about to be 16. He needs a car. He has his eyes set on my Ford, which we've agreed we're going to let him take that because I'd rather him have that and me not have to buy another car. He's like, at first he was like, I just want a Camry. I'm like, what the fuck? How are you my child? But then
And he doesn't listen to rock music either.
he does not listen to rock and roll, as he made clear to me. But he started driving the red truck and he likes it. And so it's easier for Caitlin and me to just let him roll with that and hope
Here, y'all keep talking.
that he doesn't wreck it. But I told him
We're going rogue. We're going rogue right now.
I'm not as nice, I guess, as your parents were to you. Because I told Sam that he can have the red truck until Oliver turns 16. And when Oliver turns 16, he's got to give that truck up. And so he has until Oliver turns 16 to get his own car.
Yeah.
For him to buy it. I'm not buying him. I gave you a red truck. Fuck you. You can find the rest yourself.
Well, and here's the thing: is like I can like step back and look at it, and obviously I can bitch and moan about like not having a car in New York, but realistically, like I'm fine up there without a car, and I don't need it. It's just like an ideal situation. And sure, I should be paying for my car and all these things. I'm grown. I'm drinking a beer right now. We gonna have cigars later. Like
Okay.
like I understand completely, and I'm not like actually like no, I need a car now. It's just like it'd be nice.
Well, for your situation up there, you don't really need like a mind-blowing car.
Well, I just Subway everywhere.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm
You're
not
just
gonna-
talking about parking a probably a piece of shit car.
Yeah.
That might have air conditioning
Yeah.
if you're lucky. Down the street, which
Yeah.
sucks there, and then go be able to pick it up whenever you want.
Yeah.
And just drive around for a little while and then go back to New York City.
Yeah,
which-
it's literally just to get a break from New York City. That's literally all it is.
So tell me about your life in New York City.
It's a little. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, go ahead and tell them about my life in New York City.
In New York
It's a little
City,
expensive for Tim.
New York City is very. There's a lot going on out there.
There is.
City that never sleeps. That's what they say.
I slept when I was there.
All right.
How you like it out there, champ?
It's great for my career, and that's all I'm really focused on up there.
I know, but that literally can't be the only thing you're focused. You have a little girlfriend now.
I don't have a girlfriend.
Okay, well, you have a little friend with benefits up there.
I'm seeing someone.
I don't fucking know what that means.
This is the first I'm hearing of any of this.
Oh, you didn't know this?
No.
Oh, my bad. You gotta tell me what he doesn't know.
I didn't know what he knew because I tell mom and I don't know what she tells him.
But so there is more than just your career.
Sure.
And so you do actually have a legit life up there, which is very different from the life that your father and I live now and when we were 21
Right.
and 17, which was weird.
When I moved up there, yes.
So what else do you do besides bar back and write plays and shit?
I think like a normal like what I get done in a week is usually like I try to get as much writing done as I can because that's obviously like the passion and what I am focused on up there and what I want to take off. I'm working about 45 hours a week at my job. I'm a cook. I'm a cook on Mondays and then I bar back for Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday.
You get tips for that?
For all of it, yes. But cook is just like a really small percentage of the tips and then like barely noticeable. And then bar backing, yeah, you get a good amount of tips.
That's good.
Have you liked your transition from cook to bar back?
It's had its ups and downs. I mean, like my whole life, like every job I've had has been like cook, but I eventually learned the whole restaurant and I learned how to like serve, bartend, like all these things, like whatever. So I like to learn the whole restaurant in general. I think this is definitely like a switch in the sense of like, this is my first job in New York. I've been there for 2 years now, and
So this is the same place that I went to.
Yes.
Okay.
and so I've been a cook there for like 2 years, and now they're transitioning me up front just because I'm a very like personable guy. Obviously, I have a theater background, so like I'm good with like my energy, and like it's more money, less hours. So they're trying to take care of me.
And you can serve now because you're 21.
You can serve at 18.
Oh, I thought you had to be 20. You have to be 21 here.
No, it's 18.
I bartended.
I've never worked in food industry, so I actually have no idea what I'm talking about.
I bartended here at Boomba's.
The last time I saw you at Boomba's, you were washing dishes, so I didn't know that.
Well, like I said, I learned everything.
No, I mean that's good. I just curious. So, but all right. So you have a night. You're not doing anything for a play. You're not working at what's the bar?
Pub Key.
That's right. You're not working.
Shout out to Pupkey.
Yeah, it was. Everybody there was very delightful when I was there.
I'm glad.
That's a pretty cool little bar.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Hot, but everything in New York is hot.
Yeah.
It was June.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, especially in the summer.
Yeah, I mean, but like air conditioning is like questionable.
Bitcoin's going crazy right now too.
I don't know anything about that.
Well,
Wrong uncle. The one that you need to talk to about that is dead.
for everybody listening, I think we mentioned this on another podcast, but tell everybody like because that bar was like President Trump has visited it, and then there's been some other. I think Laura Trump's been there and a few other people from the news. Like, tell everybody why Trump visited it, like what the bar is.
So Pub Key is a bar in New York City. It's a dive bar, and it's basically like the place for Bitcoin. You can pay for Bitcoin. You can attend meetings that we have every Thursday and sometimes other days. I mean, that's really all it is. It's a Bitcoin bar, and Trump came to basically endorse it, especially like leading up to the election. He wanted to show that like, hey, this is like a direction I'm wanting to move toward. So he paid for, I think, some like merchandise and the burgers in Bitcoin. Then he ended up leaving. And then, yeah, we have like Mr. Wonderful came down there, Laura Trump, like you said. We had
Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he was there. And then, I mean, we've also had like, the thing about it is like, people call us the Trump bar, and like, we really try to not have that like persona, because genuinely what the owners care about is Bitcoin. That's all it is.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to be known as the Trump bar. I'm not no political, but you don't want to be the division in that because this is the Trump bar. Then
Right.
You eliminate half of your.
Yeah, and I get it. Like, people have strong opinions on both sides, but like at the end of the day, I think like if we literally talked about like trying to get Obama in there too, and like anyone that's like willing to endorse Bitcoin and like, you know, say like, hey, this is a cool thing and like we support it, like it's out there, you know.
Is there any other, not even necessarily bars, but is that place special because it's the only place that does that, or do other places like accept Bitcoin as?
I'm pretty sure we're the only place that does that, and then we're about to open another location in DC. I'm pretty sure we're looking at Miami too, so we're starting to like pick it up, you know.
So I'm curious about the logistics, right?
Okay.
The logistics of the president of the United States, former president, potential future president, comes to your bar. I'm interested in the logistics of that. How much preparation do y'all have to do for something like that?
You were texting us about that.
Yeah.
Tell them what happened with all that.
Literally like 2 weeks before the event, we had to give Secret Service our addresses, our social security, like basically like all of our information.
Everybody that worked there?
Yeah, everybody. And then I was cook at the times, and I was making the 50 burgers that he was ordering for him and his group. And so there were like logistics about like, oh, like we need to take all your guys' knives, and it's like, okay, well, how are we supposed to make food if we can't use our knives? And they're like, all right, well, we have to have a Secret Service person like back here with you, and it's like, all right, cool, just stay over there. You know what I mean?
I mean, I didn't even think of that. That's
This is kind of shit that this is why I asked the question. Like, did they have to like watch you prepare the food to make sure you? Yeah,
they watch everything.
I mean, you just think about it. When the president or the vice president or anybody comes to town, just to Nashville, how much the logistics are. They have to close down all these roads.
Yeah.
So imagine he's going to a place where he's going to be served food.
Yeah.
And like, they got to watch you to make sure you're not going to try to poison the president. Like, that's the kind of things I think of. And so
2 weeks. So 2 weeks prior, they get all of your information
Yeah.
and then go from there.
And then the day of the event, they shut down the whole street, like the whole Washington place.
Can you imagine that? That's probably even worse than Nashville to do that in New York.
Yeah.
yeah.
So they shut down the whole street. They had like tents going outside of Pub Key, like kind of just like as an entry like point for him from like the road to the Pub Key door. Whenever we came in, they like scanned us all, metal detector, everything. They sent a dog throughout the whole entire building to like smell everything. We had to wait outside for like 2 hours just so they could like do a full sweep of everything, see where the like entry and exit points are. Just making sure everything's secure. And then eventually like we all get in there and like, the whole staff is like huddled and it's like, all right, here's the exact plan on what's happening. Everyone needs to be at like this exact like point at this time. And if you step out of line in that place, like Secret Service is going to tackle you and like, you're going to go down and like all these like very, very,
this is insane to me.
it's like very, very strict stuff. I mean, but it's,
I get it. No, I get it. I'm not being judgmental. It's just, logistics of like trains and planes and the Secret Service and everywhere that a president or former president has to go amazes me because it's
It's pretty crazy. I didn't even think about the whole knife thing. I mean, that makes complete sense.
Yeah.
You think
Haydn goes crazy, grabs that knife and goes running for him. Like that's their thought. They have to think worst case scenario for everything that they do.
Right.
So the dog's got to sniff every corner for a bomb and shit like that.
The pictures that you sent, like you can see the Secret Service like just watching everything. They had how many Secret Service people do you think were there? Well, it was before he was even president, so even now it's probably even more than what it was then.
Had to be like 15 to 20 Secret Service members.
And the bar's not that big.
No, it's not a big bar at all.
Yeah, I mean, this room right here, you got a little more space to breathe, like width-wise, like because obviously there's like the bar and everything, but like for you to be able to, there's people sitting at the bar, you don't even have that much space to squeeze through to go to the other side.
So when they do it, when they get all your information, do they do a background check on you, or
in what sense? Like they
just
interview me or like
like run an actual check to see if you've been in prison or anything like that?
I assume so, yeah.
Okay,
You said you gave them your social and all that?
Yeah, everything.
Yeah,
I would assume that's what it's for.
Yeah.
I guess my question would be if somebody on staff who's not there illegally but fails a background check, I wonder if that would eliminate the entire visit, or they're like, hey, this guy can't be here this day, or something like that.
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I don't expect you to
run
know.
into
I mean,
that,
you're not the owner. I feel like that's conversation with the owner. But
Everything was also like roped off in a sense of like obviously all the press had to be like in one specific area, and like we had like our like red velvet ropes for like Trump is gonna go from here to like right here, sign some stuff, pay in Bitcoin. He's going to go to the back, say hi to like the whole crowd and everything. Shane McMahon was there, which I thought was really cool. And then he comes back. And
money.
Yeah, literally. He's a big dude also.
Is he?
Yeah. He's like huge. Like,
Who is this?
he's
Shane McMahon, Vince McMahon's son.
Oh, the wrestler?
Yeah.
yeah. Well, he's not really a wrestler, but he did some fucked up shit.
He did.
Yeah.
Jumped off Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
So how long was he actually there for?
Oh, it was like 5 to 7 minutes.
Oh, really? All this for 5 to 7?
Well, and here's the thing.
my
Also, right after that, he went to his rally in Madison Square Garden, or was it in Brooklyn, or somewhere around there?
I imagine whenever anybody of that stature in this world is moving around, they don't actually get a chance to just sit down. So, because my next question will be: so, is it safe to say that you cooked a former president / current president a burger? Like, did he eat food that you created?
As far as I was told, yes.
Hey, that's all you need to know.
Well, we all know that Trump likes burgers and stuff like that. So
Someone told me.
And those burgers are actually pretty fucking good.
I never had one of them.
Oh.
You never had a smash burger?
Not the ones that you made.
unrelated. I went to a place today for lunch with a couple guys from work, and I had a smash burger, and they asked me where, like, I was like, I'll give it like a 6. And they're like, well, what's the best smash burger you've had? And
I genuinely think we
place.
have like the best smash burger in at least like West Village of New York. Like we have a really good burger, especially when I'm making it.
well, you weren't making it that night. You were drunk.
That's true.
I think that I didn't eat a burger from there when we were there that night. I think I got something else, so I never had a burger.
Caitlin
I
and
got
I,
wings or something, I think.
Yeah.
Caitlin and I tried a little bit of everything because we kind of found our place at the bar at the beginning. Didn't realize there was like an actual party for you happening in the back. Like, and we didn't even realize there was a back room.
Well, pause that. You remember when Jack tried to sit down and that bartender got in his ass about it?
He did. So,
Which bartender?
Poor Jack. It was a
fucking remember.
it was a
Well, what do you look like?
It was a woman.
fucking know.
It was a woman, but I felt bad because Jack doesn't know any better, and he was just sitting down, and then like they got in his ass about it. And
They were, well, because
that's why I went back there.
I think legitimately he wasn't allowed to.
No,
be
he
in
wasn't.
there
He
at
wasn't.
all.
And
And
he
they were
did-
like, "Look, you're Hayden's brother, so we're going to show some leniency.
Yeah, as
Well,
they
he
should.
let him.
You can't sit at the bar top."
Yeah, he let him go to the back where the party was.
Yeah.
And I'm socially awkward, so I walked in. First of all, the entire situation was awkward for me. I'd never been to a big city.
Yeah.
It was a very oddly planned trip, and
Yeah.
so everything was crazy.
That was a jab at me because I messed up everything.
Yeah.
Did fuck up everything. But
Tends to.
but even if that wasn't the case, like Caitlin and I are very socially awkward people.
Yeah.
So we walked in,
can tell.
we saw 2 seats at the bar, and we just plopped
Right.
our ass in there, and I'm not getting up. I'm not going to the bathroom. I'm not losing my seat.
Right.
I befriended the bartender who kept, and so we basically tried like everything on the menu. Because like I didn't realize that you were comping our alcohol.
Yeah.
My tab was still like $90, so we spent like $90 on food. We got
Yeah.
hot dog. It was okay.
Okay.
Your hot dog wasn't the best hot dog I've ever
I
had.
didn't make it, so you can't say my hot dog, first of all.
I imagine that there's processes in place that it would be the same had you made her.
You would think.
But the burger was delicious. I remember the burger,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I had a good time, and I was curious when one of the first things when I saw you when I got here, I was like, we're going to talk about Donald Trump going to the bar.
Yeah, I mean,
And I don't care about Donald Trump going to the bar. I care about a Secret Service situation and the logistics of it. So
Yeah, think about it from Trump's point of view or any president's point of view. It's like they don't even see any of that or even know any of it. He's just like, okay, I'm walking in here. Never mind, like 2 weeks prior to it, they're running all that shit and like doing all those things. And he just walks in, does his thing, and then 5 minutes and turn around and
if
leave.
he knows that something's happening, most likely somebody's getting fired because somebody in the Secret Service didn't do their job.
Yeah. But imagine that, like even when he got shot at in that,
I mean, and it was around that time too, where like,
well, yeah, I mean so they were even more hardcore about it because he got shot at, I think in June or July, and then that event was right for about a few weeks before the election.
Yeah.
And so obviously it was the security was pretty hardcore, but I mean, think about the Secret Service. Like when he's getting shot at, they're actually having to do something.
They're like, oh shit, I have to do something.
It's not like
supposed to jump now, or
well, just think about it because it doesn't happen that often. It's like precautionary. It's like
But you actually don't know how often it happens and how often they're trying to mitigate circumstances because
Yeah.
it's not always going to be on the news.
Well, I don't know. I think that everybody wouldn't know. I think that like say that there was a situation like when he went to Haydn's bar and there was this thing that could have happened, but they thwarted it or whatever. You probably wouldn't hear about that.
Yeah.
But like, and there's probably tons of things that always happen like that. Even with terrorism and everything else, there's
Right.
tons of things that we don't hear about.
How many things has Jack Bauer remedied that the general public doesn't know about?
Jack Bauer is badass, but then like, and then the event happens where he gets shot at. Imagine the Secret Service is like, this is not a drill. This is not precautionary like checking things. It's like we're actually having to do this thing, which that's kind of scary if you think about it.
well, and that's a big thing for me is like, as far as like the whole like him coming to the bar and like the whole event of it in itself. Like, obviously, I'm not gonna get like political or anything, but I really don't give a shit about politics. I don't care what side you're on.
Because you're 21.
Okay, well, I just don't like the 2-party system. And
I don't either, but that's not the point.
So whether you love Trump, hate Trump, I don't really care.
Well,
But
for any president, you know,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which side of the aisle you're on. You want to protect your leaders.
right, yeah. I mean, anyone that's in that like big seat, I'm like, I hope they do well for our country. Like,
Yeah.
and that's the goal, obviously. But for me, it's like, cool. Like it was Trump, but in my head, I'm like, I cooked a burger for a president. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's the cool thing for me.
That's something
Yeah.
that's a notch on your belt that nobody can take
I know,
away from.
yeah.
Has Tim ever cooked a burger for a president of any caliber?
He barely cooks at all.
No, that's me.
No.
No, it's not barely. I don't
Cook a lot. But what I will say is like the whole time all that stuff was happening, I was like, because I didn't know all that stuff's going on in the background, and I didn't know that he was there for like 5 minutes. But I kept texting Hayden. I was like, "Get a picture with Trump. Get a picture with Trump."
By the time it went through, he was already gone.
Yeah, he's just in. Hey, shake some hands, hug some babies, take a bite of a burger or whatever, and then he's out the door.
But also,
Well, that's the thing is like, even if like we wanted to get a picture, even the picture I sent you guys where he's like grabbing that burger, that one
was that a
specific
felony?
picture.
Did you commit a felony?
I didn't take that picture,
okay.
first of all. But
Well,
like,
I'm disappointed in you. But
we were behind the bar, and like he was obviously on the other side of the bar, like doing whatever,
Doing Trump things.
doing Trump things, and like a bunch of the guys wanted to like go over there and like get like close to him and like whatever. And I remember our manager was like, "Yo, get back," and like I remember I was in the corner of the bar. I was like, "This is where I was told to be. I'm gonna be back here. I'm gonna just like whatever."
I'm gonna behave myself.
I mean, the people, the owners and the people, the management, they need to follow the rules because one, it's good publicity for them.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
And they want him to be able to come back.
Right.
And if you have a bad experience, there's zero chance that he would. I mean, even
even getting Obama or anybody else in
Yeah.
there, it's like
Yeah.
you wouldn't be able to do it. Did you guys get a bump from that? Like any kind of like?
No, because it was like a quick like, "Hey, everybody get back," and it's like, all right, we'll get back. But it's like,
Yeah, I mean, the only reason I knew about it is because he told me.
It's just
No,
super
I mean
strict.
like,
That's what it is.
was there like a bump in business? Did it like help sales?
oh my gosh,
people
like,
coming in.
to
And,
this day, everyone asks like, "Oh, were you here when Trump was here?"
Yeah.
like that's like a regular question.
yeah, it's like a. I mean, even as we see it now, whether you work there or not, it's like, oh, that's the bar. Well, it's got two things going for it. It's unique because it's Bitcoin.
Yeah,
Correct.
And then the
Which I have
president-
questions about.
And then the president was there, and so it's just I'm sure that it like brought people in maybe that wouldn't usually come in. Did you say that you see business has gotten better or anything?
for sure. But I think also like before we even had the whole Trump situation there, we did like a couple months like before that, just a big like sweep of like management and employees and everything, kind of like this big flip. And I think that also helped like business in general and events go up. But I think the whole Trump coming in and it being this like huge thing, I mean, like literally the whole street shut down, and that's in like West Village, which is like a very, very popular part of New York City. So for all that to happen and then like it be on Fox News, obviously, it's just like, yeah, obviously business is gonna boom.
Yeah, I mean, whether you like him or you don't like him, that's not what we're here to discuss, but he's a polarizing individual.
Mm-hmm.
And the people who love him, they see him there. They're going to want to go there.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's
I think it's like that with any. Well, I mean, obviously,
Famous person.
president, famous person. Like, I mean, even like I wanted Hayden to get a picture with Trump, and then he was talking about Obama was talking about going there. I was like, get a picture with Obama, get a picture with somebody famous.
Yeah.
yeah, anybody famous, which leads. So I have other questions. So I'm a dumb hick from Fairview.
Okay.
I don't really. And,
You are that.
And our other brother, Nathan, one time I got stuck in the car with him to drive down to pick out to get the grave for our father when he passed away. That was the longest I ever really spent with Nathan, was that 2.5 hour drive. And he was trying to explain cryptocurrency, and he was, I'm data mining. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah.
How does that work? Because you say that y'all are a Bitcoin bar.
Yeah.
Well, you probably need to preface this with just because he works at a Bitcoin bar doesn't mean he knows how that works.
Well, you let me finish my fucking question. I'm not going to ask him how Bitcoin itself works.
All right, big guy, go ahead.
Let's take a deep breath real quick, okay?
I just want to know, like, say I have some Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I imagine it's not a coin that I have that I just like, it's like I'll walk into a bar, I'll have a whiskey.
Yeah. No, yeah.
I'll have a whiskey. But how do they like, they can't do, is there like an ATM there, or can they? I know you're looking at me like I'm an idiot, but I don't have any
No.
I mean, that's I'm asking that question too. It's
Yeah,
like, how do you pay?
How
with
do I
Bitcoin?
pay with Bitcoin? Because I don't know how much a Bitcoin
Is it like
worth.
Apple Pay where you just?
Yes, that's yeah. Is that how it works? Oh, he's pulling it up.
Well, I was going to say one Bitcoin.
Oh, I thought
one
you were
full
about-
Bitcoin is worth $111,000 right now.
One Bitcoin?
Well, then how do you buy a beer with Bitcoin then?
It's like percentages of Bitcoin.
So,
How much Bitcoin do you think Nathan had?
I don't know. We can. Never mind.
I have 0.005862 Bitcoin.
Okay, how did you get that?
I put $1 into Cash App Bitcoin because Cash App has like a Bitcoin
Okay,
system.
we're getting
So I
somewhere.
put $1 into that because I was like, I work at a Bitcoin bar. I'm investing. And actually, yesterday, one of our regulars sent me $55 in Bitcoin, and then I had $9 in Bitcoin, or $9 in my Cash App that I just transferred over to Bitcoin because right now Bitcoin is like just blowing up for whatever reason.
But you haven't answered our question.
Okay, well, can I get there?
Oh, well played.
Thank you.
Yeah, he sounds like you. You guys are more alike than I realized. I'm realizing that now.
We're just less cunty than you.
So, with the whole like how it works, from my understanding, because again, like I'm not fully like invested in this. Like,
Correct. I don't expect you to be a Bitcoin professional,
Right.
But you work with it, so that's
Yeah.
why I think this is a good conversation.
So it's like you said, it's not like a physical coin you have, but there are things called Lightning wallets, which is basically how you would pay for Bitcoin. There's two types of wallets that you have.
Prison wallet.
I don't know. I don't know what that is, if I'm being honest. Sorry, Bitcoiners that are listening right now.
I don't know what you're talking about either.
Your prison wallet. It's your asshole.
That's Go ahead.
Yeah. Anyway, let me take a sip of beer after that one.
Yeah.
So there's your Lightning wallet, and then there's like a different type of wallet that's like more long term. A Lightning wallet is for those quick purchases, like at PubKey, where you want to get like burgers and beers and whatever. And basically, like how it works is you have this wallet, and you have like, I think, is it 16 words, 12 words, something like that. That's like specifically like your password, basically. You want to write this down or whatever and keep it, and like that's where you invest like all the Bitcoin into. And how we do it at the bar is we have like barcodes where you just scan and you send the money over through that.
Okay.
And that's
We're getting somewhere here.
That's how you basically like pay for the Bitcoin or pay in Bitcoin.
Like a barcode or something?
Yeah, exactly.
So say you finish up your meal, you finish drinking or whatever, you're ready to go, and they give you your bill, and then you just like show them your phone like you would like a Apple Pay type situation.
Like you're at a restaurant, you scan a QR code and pay with Apple Pay.
I mean, yeah, we have like our little handheld like POS systems, and so like if you pay for like card, then we'll scan it that way. But if they're like, hey, can I pay in Bitcoin? Then we have a special iPad that like has the barcode, and like you put in the number of like how much the bill was or whatever. You can pay for it that way. So that's basically how you pay in Bitcoin at PubKey.
I just don't understand how one Bitcoin's worth $100,000.
How much did you say it's worth?
$111,000.
$111,000. Don't you think you would like?
So imagine Nathan had 3 Bitcoin.
Yeah, no. I mean, maybe he had like 0.000375.
More than likely, I imagine that's what it's like.
But he did get in on it pretty early.
That's true.
That's what I'm saying.
He may have one that he bought for like $20,000 that's actually now worth. Is that how it works? Like if I buy it now, it's like a stock. It just increases over time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, when Nathan died, like we had just gotten that that payout for the old man, and I think that he invested a lot of that money into Bitcoin. So
Answers we'll never have, but I don't know. I find everything about your bar and I find everything about your life very interesting
Thank you.
because it's very different than what we grew up with.
Right.
And like when I was 17,
well, we're still here. I mean, you got out of Fairview, but not
I didn't get very far. But like when we were 17, you know, Mom and Dad didn't drop us off in Times Square and be like, all right, good luck. Fuck you.
Y'all don't know anyone, go ahead.
Which again, and I said this in Nikki's podcast that I was very much against it, but I went with the flow.
And I knew you weren't, and you expressed to me that you weren't a fan of it, but you also...
But you've done well.
Yeah, he's done fine.
You're alive.
But he was 17.
Here's the
He's
thing.
been mugged.
Once.
Oh, only one.
Here's the thing is like, sorry, I'm getting over a cold also. Here's the thing with him is that like, he's a great father in the sense of like, he will express to me his opinions and whether he likes it or hates it, but he will always back that up with, but I support what you want to do. And I think that's a great quality that he has. And
You know what? Thank you for that.
I needed to make sure that the listeners knew that you told me before the podcast to make sure you look good or something as a dad. Like that's what you wanted.
I don't think I said that, but
That's what you told me
because
to say.
I have already settled into the fact that I am not a good father.
I am not a good father. I'm there for my kids, but I'm an asshole.
I
I'm
have
not a
settled
good father.
into the fact that I am not a very good father, and the fact that they're all old enough now to be like, yeah, you were a shitty father. Thank you.
Now, this is no reflection on his fathering abilities, but I thought when all three of you were kids that, one, we thought Eli was going to murder you.
Yeah, we did think that.
It was a little crazy.
And I didn't think that there was much hope for any of you.
Why? Good Lord, we weren't that bad. But the thing
us how
is,
you really feel.
Y'all have all three turned out to be great people.
hold on a
And I
second.
think that's what's important.
Well, that's good. We need to highlight that more in a second. But it's very funny to think that like you thought that all of them were going to be awful, and they never had a chance. But you need to remember, if it was just me, yes, God forbid something happened to Nikki when the kids were growing up. Yes, there would be problems. But the fact that she has been here is the saving grace.
Now, and on the other side, like I thought that there was no hope for Sam, right?
I didn't either.
Correct. But he's turned out to be a super respectful, good young. I mean, he's only 15. There's still time for him to fuck it
I
up.
remember the last time I've talked to him.
Well, I promise you would be shocked by how big he is. He's
Oh, I know that. I heard you say in the last podcast he was like 6 something, and I'm like,
6'3".
what the fuck happened?
You ought to bring him. Did you say you're coming out here tomorrow?
so. Sam has
Well, even if you can't, we got that party on Sunday for Jack.
thanks for letting me know.
Consider this your
This is your invitation.
your invitation sent.
Like I've always tried to be there for the kids, and so I would like to know these things. You have a little bit of Freeman Hollis in you.
No, I'll give you that. That's
I'm
fine.
the exact same way though. Whenever I throw like events like that, I'm like, oh yeah, you're coming to this thing, right? And they're like, what thing? I was like, oh yeah, come to this thing.
I mean, like Ollie graduated from elementary school Tuesday night.
Oh wow.
And I didn't tell anybody. I'm just as big of an asshole. It's fine. It's just who we
the
are.
Hollis
as a family.
way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's the
yeah,
Hollis
yeah.
way. But
it's no disrespect to anybody, and
No.
fortunately, like we know each other well enough because we're all family to not take offense to it. I'm not offended.
but like Sam, and so you say about this weekend. So Sam really wants a job, but he's 15, and us being divorced and me being in Antioch and him and his mom and brother being in Gallatin, there's not a lot of stuff I can do to help him get to and from work. I'm not driving 30 miles just to take him 5 minutes down the road to
Right.
When's he turn 16?
December.
I was gonna say it's December, so it's not that long.
But he really wants a job now because we got him a bank account and he's doing all these things. So he's going to be working this summer. His grandmother opened a laundromat in Charlotte, Tennessee,
Wow.
and that's what he's going to be doing this summer. So this weekend,
Shout out.
yeah, I don't know what it's called. I don't know. What it's
Shout
called.
out Laundromat in Charlotte,
Yeah.
Tennessee.
Yeah, but I think that's a great job for him. Unfortunately, it's in Charlotte, Tennessee, and so he called me today at work. I assumed somebody was dead because he's never called me.
Fair.
yeah, every time anybody calls, I'm worried that people die. But his generation, they want to talk on the phone all the time.
What the fuck?
No, I don't. I hate
Or
talking on the
FaceTime.
phone.
I don't want to
Yeah,
do
I
either
was
of
gonna
those
say
things. Just
FaceTime.
fucking text me.
Yeah, FaceTime's a big thing.
No, I'm a big texter. I do not like calling at all.
So he called me. He's like, "Hey, Dad, I want to go to Grandma's this weekend so I can start working at the laundromat because school's out." And I'm like, "Okay, good luck."
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if that's what you want to do. That's fine. I support this. He's like, "But what I need you to get off work, drive to Gallatin, pick me up, and then drive me to Burns, and then drive home."
That's a long stretch.
Yeah. And I said, "No."
Gallatin to Burns is what, like 2 hours, hour and a half?
About an hour and a half. I said, "Look, I'm not going to do that after work.
Yeah.
Right. I will come pick you up and bring you home, and I will take you out there on Saturday morning.
Right.
Let's split this shit up." I don't know. I said, and then his brother's like, "I want to go to my friend's house," which I support. My kids want to have friends, and I want them to have friends. But I'm not going to be the one that does all that driving. I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah.
That's too much. I mean, I'd spent years when I first got divorced driving from Nashville to Gallatin because I worked in Gallatin. So I lived in downtown Nashville. I worked in Gallatin. The kids lived in Burns. And I would do that constantly. And I put like 50,000 miles in my car in 1 year just trying to do all that. I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
So if he can figure out a way to get out there, he can go work at the laundromat this weekend. I support him.
Yeah.
That's not the same as dropping him off in New York City at 17.
Yeah, we did do that.
Who would do that?
I mean,
Your mom.
I didn't like it at the time, but I support what, the final decision on it. I mean, I could have come in like a hurricane and been like, no, we're not doing this. But I understand that Haydn put in the efforts to, for those of you that don't know, he graduated a year early just because he wanted to get a head start on his dream and go out to New York. And he graduated high school a year early. Did that, went out to New York, started college there, did all that, graduated from college. Only Hollis that's ever graduated from college.
Didn't you finish something during COVID?
No, I never.
You didn't finish
I never
it?
finished. But only Hollis to finish. Only Hollis to graduate from college. Actually, Jack is the second Hollis because he actually got a degree for technology or whatever he's doing. But yeah, I mean, I didn't like it because I may be a shitty parent.
I don't think you're a shitty parent.
I may be a bad.
Parenting styles are subjective.
That's true, but me and Nikki have always had the not good cop, bad cop. I don't want to say that, but she was always the nurturer because she's a mother, and then I was always the enforcer.
Yeah.
The kids had a level of fear of me, which it's funny because like even back then, me and Nikki would go, after I'd have to get onto them or something, and then go in the bedroom and laugh about how I'd gotten their ass about whatever because you don't really care. I mean, it's just dumb things that boys do, but I've always been the enforcer in it all, and it doesn't mean that I love you less or think that, don't like you. I don't ever want the kids to think that, but you got to have structure. I'm a very firm believer that kids have to have a mother and a father. Yes, there's a lot of situations where they're single parents. You got to do what you got to do, but I think most of the time, the best raised kids are the ones that have the mother and father that are present.
I think about it all the time that with my kids, I am divorced, and
Yeah, you are.
and we got divorced when the kids were very young. Oliver was 1 when we got divorced.
Right.
But I remember growing up that Dad was always working and didn't get to go to all the things that I had going on, and then our parents got divorced, and he really didn't go to anything that I had going on, and I didn't have a lot going on. But I always think about that every time my kids have something happening, like it could be the smallest thing in Gallatin. When Oliver's playing rec basketball, it's just a practice on a Tuesday night. I make the drive out there because I want to be involved in that kind of stuff. Because I think that's important. I think it's very important for both parents to be involved, whether the parents are together or not.
It doesn't matter what your kids are doing or any of that kind of stuff. What your situation is with the baby mamas and the husbands or the boyfriends or whatever. But being a present parent is more important than anything. It's like I know that Nikki was more nurturing than I am, but it's like I've always worried, especially since Haydn's left the house and Eli's left the house, gone into the Army and everything. It's been me, Nikki, and Jack for several years.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason that I didn't like Haydn leaving is because like I was worried about Jack not having someone there for him and having his brother and all that kind of stuff. So all that kind of stuff weighs in my mind. But for years, and it's almost kind of the reason that I brought Gene over is because like, well, one, it was like the last Hollis and the last connection to our father, your grandfather.
Yes.
And, but worried about Jack and all that. And me and Jack don't go out and do things, and we do sometimes, but
Y'all don't go hunting together?
we don't do any of the things that like a good father would do. But I know I feel better because he's there, and he feels better because I'm there.
You're present.
Yes, I'm present.
Yeah.
And so if you ever needed anything, so it's different with you because you're gone and you're doing your life and doing your things. Same with Eli, but
I'm still reaching out to you guys though. Like you guys are like, I think you said this in another podcast, is you guys are still like parenting. Like the parenting part isn't over, but you're moving into this chapter of like Jack's obviously probably gonna live here for a little bit, but I think he does eventually want to just like be in the workforce, and like maybe like him and Zephyr, like whatever happens like with that will happen. And I think I lost my train of thought. I don't know, like
the left side. Well, the thing about it is I actually, here, let's pause it for a second. We'll be right back.
it's like when Frank licks your ear.
Anyway, so what I was saying is that
Oh, okay. Oh, we're going now.
We're
Okay.
fucking back.
I'm
Thanks
just
for the heads
licking
up.
the mic right now.
I think that
I can't do it.
what I was going to say, is that I always told Nikki when the kids were younger that I would be a better parent to them when they got older.
Yes.
And so, because I remember, this is the point that I wanted to make before I forgot. I remember the time where where our father, you revere him as your father, and he's like this person on a pedestal. And then you get to an age or something happens to where you're like, this guy's just a fucked up guy, just like me or whatever other person.
Yeah.
But like, you have this view of your parents for all of your life, especially when you're young and you're a kid. And I always told Nikki that, I'll be happy when the kids are older so that I don't have to keep playing this role as like this parent, because you can't just let your kids run amok and do all these fucked up things and be a menace to society. And there's a lot of kids that are just bad kids because their parents don't give them any kind of parameters. When the kids were younger, and I still believe this, maybe if anybody's listening to this that's in the family, see that.
We don't have a family. We're all here.
Well, I'm talking about
The family's right here.
talking about Nikki's family.
Oh, yeah. That's a lot of family.
But like those kids I think that they appreciated the boundaries that we give, and there was we give broad boundaries, but there are still boundaries. It's like, no, you're not going to do this. You might do this at home, but you're not doing this shit here.
Right.
And they know, and people, not just them, but other kids that come over, like the friends that they would bring over, they would kind of learn that like, hey, we're cool parents. We're good with whatever, but here's the line right here.
Right.
We don't sweat. Like me and Nikki have never sweat the small stuff. There's a lot of parents that are overbearing, and you can really mess kids up by being so overbearing like that.
Yeah, I'm not overbearing. We've learned over the years that I'm very protective. So like I don't want them to get hurt, right?
Yeah.
No parent wants their kid to get hurt. But I think of when we were kids, Nathan having the accident, Nathan breaking his arms, all the things Nathan did, because we didn't hurt ourselves.
Except when Eric ran over me that one time.
He did. When I was watching that podcast, like, no, he ran. I said, don't run him over, and he said, get out of the way, and Tim didn't move. Tim was flying. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so recently, I think since my last podcast with you, where I called Sam a cunt.
You did do that, and
One of my favorite podcast moments, by the way.
Yeah.
you know what? I posted that, and it's like it got rejected. Apparently, you're not supposed to call your kids that.
Anyway, I don't.
His kid. What the?
Yeah, I can do whatever the fuck
Do
I
whatever
want.
the fuck you want.
But recently, I got inebriated. I know this is shocking to everyone that's listening, all of your 12 viewers, because it's gone down. That's weird.
I've got 97 subscribers on YouTube now.
Really?
Really?
I didn't know that.
Well, they probably would have appreciated an episode yesterday because they were all expecting an episode on Wednesday.
I think all of those people came on because of like Armando and Don Buffalini, and then I've completely let them down since because it's like they have to hear this shit.
Like, I'll get to my story, but you just got to keep plugging away. I think I watch a lot of Caleb Hammer. Caitlin and I have been watching a lot of Caleb Hammer. We don't really care about the finance side. We just find it super entertaining.
Yeah.
Some of it seems staged though.
I agree. So what we did, we made a lot of useless trips to Chattanooga over the course of this last week. So what we've done is we've gone back to his first video. We started watching his first video from 2.5 years ago.
It probably sucked.
It was fucking awful. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to stick to it because I want to see the point that he like switches to having good quality stuff, his actual personality that you see now coming out. And he's not there right now. He's all like nice. Oh, you don't know. Your quality is better. Like I enjoy the podcast that you do. I have no interest in Don Buffalini. Did I say it right? I have it doesn't benefit me at all, but I enjoyed the podcast.
I agree.
I think that the production value, me and Nikki were talking about this the other day, that and it's funny because this program does most of the stuff that I'm wanting to do, but a lot of people, I mean, you're going to probably put in $1,000 or something in mics and the board and all that kind of stuff. But to me, the production value of it is half the battle. It's like, you don't want to sit there and listen to somebody that's, doesn't have microphones
but production, I feel like production wise for what you're doing, you're there. Like the quality that you're doing in 4K, all these things
with iPhones, by the way.
Yeah. And like we come here and like, this is the first time in all the years you've lived in this house, whether when you were renting or now that you own it, I think this is the best setup you've ever had and the most useful thing you've ever used this office for.
And the new Fairview social sign.
That you can see half of. But it is beautiful.
A quarter of it.
But what I was talking to Caitlin about this. My fear is because you didn't release an episode yesterday, you're not finding a lot of guests.
Yes, that's true.
But I don't want that to be what makes you give up.
I don't think I'm going to give up because I started it because I need a hobby.
Correct.
Right.
It's like, and actually I was telling Nikki, and I'm sorry I keep saying I was telling Nikki because I don't talk to anybody but her.
Correct. I'm always talking to Caitlin because I don't talk to anybody else.
But I was telling her that you encourage me that like sometimes you're just kind of like, fuck it, that nothing's going to happen with it. And you said, well, just, you started it for a hobby, just do it for fun. And you're absolutely right. Yeah. You reminded me that you have to do that because the reality of it is for me, since I'm a tech guy and the way that my mind works is like you want to continue to like do better. So you're looking at the stats or what can I do to do better, which I will never change like what I talk about in order to reach stats. But like I tell her all the time, I'm like, people don't watch this podcast because of me. They watch it because of the guests that we have.
No, I think it's a balance.
Yeah, I think it's a balance because I went to take a shit. And I did what most people do when they're taking a shit. I'm scrolling on my phone.
I don't. I sit and I wait.
What?
I sit and wait for the right moment.
Like I have like 2 thoughts going on in my brain that I'm trying to keep track of so we can talk about it. But that is fucking weird that you don't use your phone while you take a shit.
He's lying.
I have a newspaper.
Oh, fuck you. But I was taking a shit. I pulled up YouTube and miraculously your podcast with Nikki was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna fucking listen to this. I'll take it.
Who was it with?
Nikki.
James.
Yeah, it was named James.
Number 15, James.
I do not refer to your wife as James because I feel like that's a you and her thing. And I don't
well, he put it out in the world, so now
I know that he put it out in the world because I was confused because Mike Riley sent a text, James. I'm like, well, yeah, that's what he's got a fucking tattoo.
Right.
Like, are you just now learning this fact about Tim and Nikki? And then I went to take a shit and I saw there is a fucking podcast.
Right.
So I'm listening to it. Caitlin doesn't listen to your podcast. She doesn't fucking listen to podcasts in general.
Yeah.
And so she's listening to it. And she hears me in the bathroom listening to it. I would rather her hear that than my ass exploding, so we're good. And
everything's out there today.
So there's no filter.
Every day for you.
I have no fucks.
It's always like a crapshoot. I got to be careful.
Yeah.
And she's no pun intended.
Crapshoot.
So she said, "Well, I guess your brother does have a good voice to do a podcast." And you know what? She's right. It works out well. And I don't want you to give up on it, even if you end up. I'm very interested. And I don't know if Haydn is. I'm very interested if you get a week where you just cannot find anybody. Like, I knew I was coming over tonight as of yesterday, but I didn't know that Haydn was going to be here. That was a nice surprise.
Well, I decided on the way home from work because it was just going to be me and you, and I was like, I'm going to throw Hayden's little ass in here and see how.
I think it's great. It's good. We were I all the way here. I'm like, what music are we going to talk about?
Right.
What movies and TV shows are we going to talk about? And then I saw you. I'm like, oh, this is going to be fucking amazing.
Oh, we're fine.
Yeah, we're good. But I want to see a podcast where it's just you.
I know.
by yourself.
Again.
Oh, you want an episode of just him?
I'm not saying I want it.
You just want to see what happens.
I want to see what happens.
This is what I told Nick. I've been telling her this for weeks. I said, because I'm not social. You know,
You're
this.
the Fairview Social.
I know. I have a Fairview Social podcast, but I'm not social. And I told her, I said, I got to be able to do solo podcasts so that I don't have to deal with, like, I don't have to worry about if I don't have a guest. It's like, yes, if you come over, we've known each other forever. It's fine. Yeah, basically,
We've known each other for 41 years.
you're forever. It's like, so it's fine. Like me and you sitting here talking. While I appreciated talking to Don Buffalini because he was like the only person that I've ever had on here that I just didn't know.
Yeah.
And he,
which I found to be that part of it was
I found it very interesting. Yeah.
and he was fine, but like, I don't really, and I would do it again. And I've got some lined up for people that I don't personally know, and I don't mind doing it, but I need to fill in the gap with solo ones. And I was telling her even last night, I was like, I got to do solo ones. And she's like, well, I'll just go in and sit in the chair over there and you can talk. And I'm like, that's stupid.
I feel like that would be incredibly difficult to do a solo podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
Because when we have, like, there's 3 of us now. Like, if I don't have anything to say that's not offensive,
Which is everything you say.
Haydn can fill in that void.
Right.
But it's 100% on you to not have that dead air. And
Yeah, I know. Well, it's like you can, and there's a lot of people that do this. I'm just not big into the editing mainly because I'm lazy. I'm like, I'm not going to edit any of this shit. Anybody that comes on here, it's just what it is what it is. It's like we can talk.
I think that's a good part about it is like, it's going to be fully authentic.
yeah, like my first one, I tried my best to not have to piss. I didn't expect the 2 of us to go for over 2 hours.
Well, I know. The thing is like, I don't want to do anything inauthentic. And I don't want to do anything like that's the other thing. I don't want to look at the numbers of like people that are listening and okay, how do I get more? Yes, you've got to figure out a way to get more viewership and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, it's like just stay true to
Just be you.
Well, yeah, and I'm doing that, and so it's kind of like a fine line of like I want to see the stuff go up, and there's weeks where it does go up. Buffalini, it shot up. Armando, it shot up. Some of them have been better than others, but like, it's funny. I told her that I said, I look at all of like, I've got 15 right now. I've got 15 podcasts and they're like my Dexter blood slides. It's like, they're like your little babies. It's like, it's a moment in time and more than anything. And I joke about this, but it's 100% serious that when I die, it's like Haydn can go back and listen to like all the shit that we've talked about on these podcasts.
And you know what's surprising about that is that's going to fuck him up. Do you know why I know it's going to fuck him up?
Why?
Because about 1.5 years, almost 2 years after Dad died,
Yeah.
I was talking to Anselmo, and he's like, "Look at this voicemail I have from your dad," and he sent it over to me. It's like hearing a first conversation with Dad.
Yeah.
Like, man, that's fucking weird. And it fucked me up for like a week.
I don't delete any text.
You shouldn't.
I don't delete
either.
any voicemail. And so when he had his motorcycle accident, I have the message, the voicemail that he said, I was in.
We were on our bike, so we couldn't.
I was in an accident, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I listened to that, or just because he worked with us, like he's leaving me messages all the time. And I always remember thinking, I'm like, why is this motherfucker leaving me a message? He just needs to text me or he just needs to leave me alone, because like, you don't think that something's going to happen to somebody and then you'll never see him again. So I go through those messages and he's like, "Hey, I'm down here at the Titans Stadium watering these trees." And it's like all those little things that meant nothing. And I didn't even listen to because I wanted him to leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah, and don't ever send me AI generated videos of Freeman Hollis ever again, because it fucks you up.
I sent him AI generated video of him playing a guitar
From his
terrible.
like Facebook pro.
Why would you do that?
He did it with Nathan too.
But anyway, to circle back to it, it's like the reason that I'm doing this is for a hobby, and then also for like a picture. And if I died tomorrow, it's not like Haydn's going to go back and like listen to all these. But even 5 years from now, or his kids,
We would
or
have
something.
a Tim Hollis podcast listening party on the anniversary of your death, we will watch all of your podcasts and make fun of you.
But it's funny because there's millions and millions of podcasts. There's like no reason that anybody gives a shit about Tim Hollis in Fairview, Tennessee.
And they might not. But what I see is it's been good for you to get you out of your normal routine. It's something for you to do.
Yeah.
And I know that you have a lull in guests right now. You might not. From what I know, you have a lull in guests right now.
I mean, I've got some lined up. It's like
I don't want you to give up on it.
Okay, well, I won't give on, and I appreciate it, and I do appreciate the encouragement because sometimes you get to the point where you're just like, nothing's ever going to happen with it. But what is my intention? Well, it's the same as like when I was 21, when Nikki was pregnant with Haydn, and it's like I was gonna be a rock star.
I remember I remember Rockstar Tim with his dreadlocks.
There was no
Dreadlocks?
Yeah.
Oh my God! You don't know that your father had dreadlocks?
No.
Twice.
Yeah, so a couple different times. But what I'm saying is like that was my future. My future was like, hey, all these things that I'm doing right now, it's just until me and Jeremy we're going to make it big. Yeah. And it's funny because maybe in a parallel universe, because I go back and listen to the songs that we had together, and I'm like, oh, some of the stuff's pretty good.
It was.
But even now, it's like some of it stood the test of time. Some of it hasn't, but a lot of it has. It's like
has Meteor Showers held?
No, that one hasn't.
Squid is my favorite.
That is a good one.
But I'm just saying that like if we had like TikTok and all that kind of stuff back then, I think that it probably could have been something.
I agree.
It's funny now because Fairy Dust is the song that plays on this podcast. I mentioned in Eric's podcast that like that song is playing. That's the theme music of this podcast. It's gotten more listens than it ever did back when me and Jeremy wrote it. Right. It's gotten more listens now.
But looking at your podcast and you think about the 15 episodes that you've done, I expected Eric to be a good interview. And actually, the way that y'all talked, I did not expect that. I did not expect it to be y'all are talking about actually legit, like what he's got going on with the paranormal stuff and all that stuff. I didn't expect it to be that. I expected it to just be like you and me sitting down because you've known Eric the majority of his life. But the ones that were the most surprising, Brandy and Kimmy.
Yes.
Those two were the most surprising. I have no interest, and this isn't to be offensive, I have no interest in what Brandy and Kimmy have going on in their life.
I second that, Kimmy.
But I enjoyed the shit out of those podcasts.
You know what's funny is that's what I texted Kimmy the other day. I said, when are you going to come back on? Because the ladies have done really good.
Yeah.
The numbers, like when you look at the statistics, because I'm a big statistics person and looking at, what's generating what. And it's like, the funny thing is with Kimmy is like, that was a watered down version of Kimmy.
It was.
It was. Because me and her have a banter that I love it. It's like me and her.
It's uncomfortable for people on the outside.
It is, but I love, like, we love talking shit to each other. And, it translated fine on the podcast, but it was 25% of what it usually is with us.
Sure. 10 years from now, that's a long time. You're old.
You're gonna be gone.
That's true. 5 years from now, say you have 60 podcasts up there, and you're just doing it because you enjoy doing it. Now, when the day gets, you do a podcast, you're like, you know what, I just am fucking enjoying this. You just shut it.
Right.
That's one thing. But if you're enjoying doing it, keep doing it. Well, it doesn't matter if people are listening.
No, I agree.
Guaranteed that Mike Riley,
I know, Michael
maybe Daniel. I'm going to listen to every podcast. I think I'm pretty sure Haydn listens to every podcast because when we did ours, the first one that we did, I woke up the next day from a text from him inviting me to New York without your fucking ass.
Well, it's funny because like this podcast is doing fine as far as I'm concerned.
Also expressed that you wanted to come back. I know he doesn't really want.
I absolutely want to take you up on that. Don't be fooled.
I'm just saying that's why I reached out.
Well,
I've already talked to Caitlin about it.
Well, me and you need to go up there. We've talked about just going for a couple days, going up there.
And I feel real bad because I want to plan these things that I do solo or you and I do, and we go see Haydn. And I feel like I'm excluding Caitlin, and I'm not trying to, but I look at,
Well, we're the last of the Hollises, man.
Well, I look at Dad, Uncle Bobby, and Uncle Danny. They made that trip to New York, and they did all these trips real late in life.
One time. It's like, how often do they do that stuff?
I don't know. I just have the one picture of their dumbasses all. But I don't want to wait till I'm that late in life for you and I to do things because
there's that. But
without Nikki and without Caitlin, I'm not trying to exclude them.
No, I mean
but there are specific like experiences that you want to have like with your brother or with
my nephew
or with me.
Like I've always enjoyed, and this will go back to what I was going to talk. I've always enjoyed being an uncle. Like especially when you were a baby.
Yeah.
Up until Sam was born, I loved taking Eli to the baseball field and teaching him how to play baseball.
Yeah.
Have I done that with my own children? I have not. I have not. I think I will excel exactly what you said. As Sam has gotten older,
you're a better parent.
We're a better parent, and that led to about a month ago, I got very drunk at a Mexican restaurant. Sam drove us home.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Because he can do that now. And Caitlin and Oliver went in. Caitlin passed out. Oliver went in. He went to sleep. Oliver actually shockingly goes to sleep early. But for like an hour and a half, Sam and I were just in the garage just talking. Now, he was talking to drunk father.
Yeah,
but we got a lot of things out.
A lot of time that's truth serum to where you're more bold to talk about the things that you wouldn't normally talk about.
And he was more bold to talk about things. Apparently, for the last 10 years that I've, been with Caitlin, and we've been married for 7 years, I think now. He's just always assumed that there's going to be another baby, right? That I was going to have another kid, and I was going to forget about my first kids. I'm like, nah, man, I don't want any more kids. Like, I have zero desire for any more kids. I'm in my 40s. I don't want any more kids. And Sam and I feel like we really bonded on that conversation about, Caitlin being voluntarily part of this family because she didn't have to be.
Yeah.
And she has chosen to be part of this. And we really got to bond over that. And not only that, he's been more respectful to Caitlin finally and making sure that he's including her in things. And we're doing things more as a family, all because I got drunk one night.
I think that for Caitlin, if she doesn't listen to this pod, as the kids call it.
If she listens to this pod, we will never know.
So what I wanted to say is kudos to her because it's harder, just so people know, it is harder to be a step parent than to be a parent.
I'm watching what she goes through.
Well, it's like whenever I got married straight in to having Eli, so there was not like a...
And Eli was a very difficult 3-year-old.
He was very difficult, but I will also say that as he got older, I'm like, I hope that Haydn and Jack are as good of a person as
your children have turned out to be great kids, great adults. I mean, especially Eli.
Oh,
but
especially Haydn.
You're a semi-independent young man, and I approve of you.
But I tell
that's all I've ever needed.
But I say this all the time that when you first get married, there's like this. Hey, I'm gonna be married, and we're gonna do things together, and we're gonna see the world, we're gonna have this life, and we're gonna do all these things that couples do after they get married. And for me and Nikki, it's been backwards because like now the kids are all older, and so I think that probably after Jack turned about 15 or 16 is when we really started like we can go do whatever we want, do all these things. But for Caitlin to marry into 2 children is
with a very opinionated mother.
With an opinionated mother. I don't know that the situation with that, but it's hard as a step parent because I didn't have any other kids. She doesn't have any other kids, and like I marry in and I got Eli and he's like 2, just turned 3, and I'm like I don't know how to raise a kid because it's different. Like when Haydn was born, is like you're just naturally like this is my kid as we get older. But with Eli, it's like okay, I got this kid here that's kind of fucked up. What am I going to do about this? Because
and you were hard on him as a child,
but
as an adult, it's turned out great for him.
Well, boundaries of like because I'll get into this in another podcast. Maybe my solo one will be about.
Or maybe you have Eli. I don't know if Eli can be on. Military.
We're trying to do a family podcast, aren't we?
We are. He'll be on. But like to
Stay
be
tuned.
but to be able to but to be able to deal with you as a step parent for Caitlin, look at it from her point of view. She's having to juggle, okay, I've committed to Joseph. I'm going to be a mother to these kids to some degree, not stepping on Virginia's toes and having to deal with all that. And so you're kind of like, okay, this kid's doing fucked up things and I want to say something about it. And so you're kind of juggling that. And so I didn't know what my boundaries were with Eli. And so finally one day it just clicked. I'm like, you know what? Me and Nikki are married. This is my son from now on. His dad was in jail and having to deal with all this kind of stuff. This kid needs a father because obviously he's just running amok. And so it was a very hard transition to where I disciplined him to get him into, like, I guess, get him into our rhythm. Because, like, you got to be into the rhythm because, like, Haydn is family. He's in our rhythm. It's like, if you're not in the rhythm of that, then, you know, but all that to say, like, I want to make sure that you recognize or anybody else recognize it's harder to be a step parent than to be a parent. Like with Haydn, it's like it's natural love for your child because it's your child.
Yeah.
But
it's
like
easy for me with the boys because they have no choice. They have no choice in me and I have no choice in them.
I am from your balls.
That is true.
That's the most Hollis thing you've ever said, and I approve of it.
But the thing is like when you're a step parent, it's like, you know, you're kind of juggling these things and how am I supposed to act and will this child love me because, you know, you want to make sure because I don't know, Caitlin could have gotten married to you and be like, well, we'll see how long this lasts. But in my mind, it's like you marry for you're married. You're married forever. Yeah. That's it.
And she's always worried about, you know, Oliver does something fucked up. Or that's not true. Oliver doesn't really. Sam does something fucked up. Should I discipline him?
Right.
And I'm like, fuck yeah, discipline him. But then she's like, but would his mother discipline him? Right? So Eli was semi-fortunate that his biological father wasn't really in the picture.
I was going to say, because he wasn't in the picture. So I had that to my benefit. That's why I'm saying for her, it's like, you got to kind of clear all the bullshit and say, okay, well, what is best for this kid?
Yeah, and
if
Caitlin,
if he needs his ass beaten or something.
And she had a very different upbringing than you and I had, you know, and like you and I never, you know, from the moment we turned 16, right or wrong, we had a car, right? How we got that car is questionable on some sorts, but Dad always made sure that we had a car. It might not be good. It might not turn left.
but it'll get you A to B.
Sort of. And I did that for a few months until I could afford to fix it. You know, but Dad made sure I had a car. Caitlin didn't have that. And it's not that her parents were bad parents. Her parents just said, I'm not going to fucking buy you a car.
Right.
You're going to get a job and you're going to buy your own damn car. So now we're dealing with Sam turning 16. And she's like, I ain't gonna buy him a fucking car. I'm like, well,
that's when between you and her, you have to come to
and we have
common ground on it.
It's taken months, but we've come to the common ground. Honestly, it was on me. I didn't want to give Sam Gene Harold's truck. I enjoy that truck. I enjoy driving that truck. I didn't want to give it to him. But it's the right thing to do, so that's what we're going to do. And Caitlin is more on board with that than me going and buying him a car.
It's hard to navigate all that stuff.
Your son has a thought.
May I offer the complete other perspective on this whole parenting?
Well, hang on a second.
I'll just hang on a second. Yeah, I just got parented.
You can just shut the fuck up for a
I'll
second.
No, I was because I was going to ask him to give his perspective on it because he is.
But when you tried to,
yeah,
it's
I gotta
like
get permission first. Permission first.
I just wanted to.
Daddy, may I speak?
I just wanted to end my part of the conversation to kudos to the step parents out there because it's much harder to be a step parent than a parent.
How's a step parent going to give kudos to step parents?
Shout out.
Actually, I've never seen you as a step parent at all.
He's not my step parent. Came from his balls.
I don't see myself as a step parent now because I literally had a meeting today with our Verizon rep at work and I was talking about the kids and I said, he was talking about something. I was like, yeah, my son's graduating tomorrow. And he said, hey, you you got a son graduating? I was like, well, I also got another son that's 25, another one that's 21, and another one that's 18. And he was like, how old are you?
I had that same conversation today.
And I was like,
That was Verizon.
and I always say, how old do you think that?
Verizon.
I was like, how old do you think that I am? He was like, 39, 40. I was like, I'm 43. I said, he's like, and you can see him counting it up. I was like, well, my 25-year-old is my stepson, but like I don't look at it.
I've never looked at Eli as your stepson.
Well, I looked at him as my stepson for the first couple of years that me and Nikki were married.
That's young dumbass version of you.
Yes, but now it's like he's my son, and
I
when
also take pride in being the firstborn Hollis of this. I do take pride in that.
But when you look at Eli, it's like just like you said, he is my son. There's no stepson or anything like that. So anyway, I just wanted to say it's harder to be a step parent than a parent when the kids are young like that, like the age that your kids are, and it's probably even harder for Caitlin because she came in the picture when they were.
Well, Oliver was like 1.5.
He was too young, but like for Sam, that's kind of a fucked up situation.
But for Oliver, like he's never known life without Caitlin being there.
Exactly. But Sam does know life. He probably even remembers like when you and Virginia were together.
Yeah, I mean, I probably took until I got drunk that night and talked to him before he realized, hey, my parents aren't going to get back together. I mean, that's at 15.
Maybe. All right. Anyway, go ahead.
Hayden.
What is your perspective?
Hayden, we would like your perspective on this whole conversation.
Oh, now you do.
No, now he does. I've always wanted it. He just said, fuck
I
you.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right, champ. Go ahead, big guy.
Here's my thing on the whole. Yeah, go ahead and both of you take a sip of your beers real quick. Go ahead.
Fuck you. I'm going to take a chance.
Actually,
Sip
let's
of
all
beer.
just do it. Ready?
I mean, it happens all the time. More often than not, even.
I mean, I've been on numerous podcasts with Tim now, and I don't think.
Not sponsored, but
I would also, before you give your perspective, I'd like to say, I think
I'll just shut the fuck up then.
you I think I've caught up with Mike Riley now, as far as appearances go.
Yeah, because I did release the I forgot about our pre-show.
I was wondering why you released it so weirdly.
And then I was like, oh yeah, this is pretty funny. Because that is my vision for this. It's just sitting there talking shit about all the things. And it turned out pretty good.
You're gonna have to wait a minute. I was very confused the other day when we were talking. You're like, yeah, we can come up with like a game plan for what we're going to talk about. No, we're 100% not going to come up with a game plan for what we're going to talk about. You know what? I want to hear from Haydn. I truly, in my heart, want to hear from Haydn.
Well, Hayden's true debut of the podcast will be when we do the one with me and him later, and we'll have some cigars.
Yeah, we will.
He'll still be recovering from tonight.
Yes.
Because he ain't a pro.
No, he's 21. He'll be fine by Sunday.
No.
You and I get drunk and fucking wasted. We're going to take a couple days to recover.
I'm planning on going out Saturday night, by the way.
I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning at 4:30 like nothing ever happened.
I'm going to wake up tomorrow at 3:30 and be like, I wish.
Just like I do every day.
I'm going to take a nap and wake up in a couple hours and nothing going to happen. I promise.
All right. Anyway, without further ado.
Drunk Hayden, tell us your opinions.
I ain't drunk. Let's start with that.
Okay. There's 4 of them.
Plus my.
He had one good beer.
Yeah.
That was actually really good.
Yeah. There's a whole keg of it over
Look,
there.
I went safe, but then I tried yours and I was like, oh.
Well, why are you being a bitch? Just drink this.
Well, first of all, y'all already halfway through this, so we trying to not have to get up again.
Oh,
we can hit
worst case
pause.
scenario.
I got a whole pack down
Worst
here.
case scenario, I'll go fill this pitcher up again and I get to piss again.
May I give my perspective?
I don't know if I want it now. You're kind of being a cunt. Oh, look, I called your children a cunt.
I know.
Oh, it's a fucking theme now.
Hold on, just for the record, I was bringing it back. From the moment Dad went into the hospital, I told him in a text message.
I know. I still have that text.
I said, I'm bringing cunt back. It's going to be my word. And for 4 years now.
4 years. You've stuck to it.
Stuck to it.
Cunt is my favorite curse word. I think it's like not used enough, and it still has that like
Yeah, it's very.
Does it bother you when your children cuss around you?
I don't really
used to.
I don't really like it now, but I'm
As
dealing
an adult, because Sam and Oliver will be listening to. I'll let Sam pick the music, and I will purposely hit mute when I know the music about to cuss.
I know. I do the same thing, but then that's what I was saying in some of the other shows. I think
I don't
that
give a shit about your opinion.
I think that I said this to you when me and you were talking. Is that something for me that's been hard doing this podcast? Is like you're exposing who you are. and
I'll get into that.
The kids have had this vision of me that I have allowed them to have, as opposed to like, okay, well, now they're seeing this.
Sam and Oliver have no idea I've done a podcast with you.
Well, it's probably better that they don't know.
Eventually, they will.
I would be okay with Sam listening to it,
But,
I
like,
would not be okay with Oliver listening to it.
There's people that I know in my life that I'm like, well, I don't want them to hear this side of me. But the reality of it is like, this is what you've heard in the 15 episodes is like, that's generally who I am.
Yeah, and I try not, and I don't want to hide who I am. I cuss
Well,
a
you
lot.
definitely don't hide who you are.
Hold on, let's stop.
right.
I really want to hear your perspective, so that we can move on from.
All right,
so we
let's
can
do it.
pretend like we care.
Let's do it. I care.
and then move on from it.
I do care.
I'd first like to say
I don't even remember what perspective we're trying to get from you.
About
parenting.
Oh, Tim's parenting?
I can't speak on your parenting.
It's not good.
I know. Here's the thing I'll say to both of you as a child and also as a nephew is that, and a big conversation I've had with so many people lately, like it's like a very big topic of conversation, like I've had a lot lately, has been like everything is such a like process. And you two being like into this, you being thrown into having Eli, like just like part of that marriage, like he was already there, like not from your ball sack, like it was like
That's true. Not from my ball sack.
like you were thrown into it, and you now going through like the whole like child process, and then also with Caitlin, and like you're obviously divorced, so there's like that whole bit of it. It's like it's such a process, but I really, really do believe that you guys are doing like a lot better than you give yourselves credit for. I can speak for you, especially because I think you have been the best father I could have had.
2 thumbs up.
I don't know about that.
Well, I'm telling you, because I know people, and I'm sure you know people, and I'm not sure you know people that are my age, or even Eli's age, or even Jack's age, that are 100 times worse than how we act and the things that we're doing. And of course, you won't always be in that circle of like, what in depth are they doing, like, without me being in the conversation. But I think you have a sense of trust in like the way of like, I know that they're not off like doing cocaine. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
raised them right.
yeah, like you have at least a little bit of comfort in that. For me, growing up, I knew that was like yours and mom's perspective, as far as like you are the enforcer, she's the nurturer, and like of course like I feel like very close with mom, and I tell her everything because she is that nurturing parent that like has that mindset of like, I'm gonna listen to you and like we can like talk to each other. But also, like, I feel very comfortable with you, and I feel like growing up, you were the enforcer, but I need that enforcer in my life to raise me to be the way that I am today, and to raise Eli to be the way that he is
It's a moral
today.
compass.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you need that balance. And I think, like, I don't know if you know this, but I've only ever seen you cry once.
We don't really cry.
In my in my entire life, and that's
Your father and your uncle, we a little fucked up.
I understand that, and that's another thing I want to get into later. Is like, after hearing your guys' podcast, as far as like your life before like the kids, I never like realized I don't know anything about your guys' lives like before that. Like,
We did some things that we may not be proud of.
no, I didn't know that like you lived separately from you and Nathan. I never knew that. Like, and that was like shocking to me whenever I heard that. And so we'll get into that later. And like, I didn't know that Nathan had this big accident that like changed everyone's lives and like all this shit. Like, I feel like that's like something that I want to know, and I want to like.
It's funny
dive
because
deeper
I'm
into.
thinking about that, and like we never.
Right.
I don't even think I really talked about
When would
it.
that come in? You know what I mean? Like,
really
Somewhere in my attic, there's a picture of the car after the accident. And if you saw it, you'd be like,
Yeah.
I don't know how anybody
The
survived.
thing is I haven't really talked to Nikki about all that kind of stuff.
And I don't think I've talked to Caitlin about it either. I mean, it's just normal.
Anyway,
yeah. So one, I just want to say it's a big process, and I feel like you guys, at least from like my perspective, you guys are very much handling the process to the best of your abilities. And I think you guys deserve a pat on the back. I'll give you that after the podcast. A little pat. You know what I'm saying?
The kids call it a pod.
Oh,
Nobody
pod.
fucking calls it a pod.
the pod.
I do.
So I don't know. Like, obviously, you guys don't need like me, a 21-year-old, saying like giving you this reassurance.
No,
where
it's
it's
good
like,
to
You are 100% incorrect.
It's good to
Because
hear the
I
perspective.
assume that I am a terrible father, and I assume that Tim is also a terrible
and you
father.
should assume both of those
Correct.
things.
But I have always, in all fairness, I have always known that my relationship with Dad was awful as a teenager.
yeah,
But my relationship with Dad, like as an adult, was great. And I always assumed that with my children that it's going to be the same way.
never once have I ever thought he's a terrible father and you're a terrible father also. Never once in my
I
life.
appreciate that.
Yeah, so take that in. I know you feel good now, all right?
No, and on my side is as Uncle Joseph or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck. You know what? I don't think anybody's ever been like, "Hey, Uncle Joseph," because as a kid, it was always weird when Rock would be like, "Uncle Freeman." It's always been
Yeah,
weird.
they
But I didn't have a relationship like I didn't have that relationship with my uncles, right? And I didn't have that relationship with my grandparent. Well, Gran and me all different, but like Gene, I never had a close relationship with him. And then I see kids like, oh, me and Gramps are going, or Grandpa are going to go do this,
Right.
right? I never had that relationship, and I always wanted to have that relationship with you and your brothers.
Yeah.
And when I had my own kids, it kind of got muddled. But I always enjoyed being y'all's uncles, and I still like coming to New York to see you. Like
Right.
that was the only reason I went to New York. Had you not been doing that, I never. To this day, I still would have gone to New York.
Right.
And I enjoy being, and me being there is completely irrelevant. You were still going to have your play, but I enjoyed going to it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. I enjoy being an uncle. I enjoyed. You know what? It's like being a grandfather, which you probably know because you're a grandfather because you're old as shit.
I am old. I'm a young grandfather.
You're like
Nah,
2
you
years
old.
older than me. But I always enjoyed doing all those things with Eli before Sam was born that I
Yeah.
didn't get to do with you. And I think it's like being a grandfather, you get to give them back.
Yeah.
Like I get to have fun with you. And then whenever you start getting annoying, I just give you back.
Yeah.
Right? My own kids, they start getting annoying. I don't have anybody to give them.
You're like, I'm stuck with them.
I'm fucking stuck with them.
Well, I mean, I'm absolutely happy that the kids are older and then we have the grandkid or grandchild right now because, like, when me and Nikki got married, like, this is the goal. This was when we knew that we did the family first and then the stuff that people usually do after. And
Yeah.
so we're at that part right now where it's like, we always talked about like it would be good to be. You have two options. You can be a grandparent or a parent when you're older, or you can do it when you're younger. Well, I mean, we were kind of married. I was kind of married into all right, we're going to do this younger because Eli was in the picture and all that stuff. But I mean, I still got a mindset like I'm 16.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, legit, the only reason I went to New York City for that 36 hours was for you. Like, I had no other reason to be there, and I love that fact.
Well, and
And I want to, and I've always wanted to support you guys, all three of you, in anything that you do. That trip it wasn't just, hey, I'm here for you.
right.
But it really bonded Jack with me and Caitlin.
Yeah.
Like I can text Jack I don't be fooled. I don't text Jack but I could text him and at least he knows who the fuck I am.
You're not that kind of uncle. So apparently you're that kind of uncle to him.
We had an experience.
Apparently to the weird guy at Fairview Liquor, I am that kind of uncle.
Let's get into that later because I have more to say. But
Later. I like that everything's later.
Anyway,
everything. We'll get to that. I think also like you guys don't, and I think it's like kind of like that Southern mindset of like you guys don't understand like the importance of these kinds of things. Of like, for me in my mind, like I see that you made that whole trip to be supportive, and like I could see that, and of course you're having a good time in New York, but I could see that the main thing was I want to support my nephew and I want to like make sure he knows that I'm here.
Yeah, you're family. I want to
Yeah.
support everything that you do.
But I know that that's also a rare thing for like an uncle or a aunt to make those kinds of efforts, especially flying across the country just to see my little play. And
That was the second time I've flown in my life.
really, I didn't know that.
It had been almost 15 years since, it'd been more than 15 years. I hadn't flown.
Yeah.
I was terrified. I don't like heights. Planes scare me. But since then, I've gone to Arizona, so I've flown again.
I've been skydiving twice.
Fuck you. I want to go skydiving, but I'm too fat, I think.
You are fat.
But, well, I want to also go back to, do you know the only time I've ever seen you cry?
When is that?
I would like to hear the only, because we had everybody in our family die, and I don't think either of us cried.
No, it wasn't any of those.
When was it?
You don't know? You don't have a guess?
I've seen him cry once, too. I'm curious where this is going to go.
Well, I want to hear yours.
No, you started.
All right. The only time I've ever seen you cry was after the Mexico incident, and you finally got home.
He was drugged up.
He was drugged. Well, I think he was like a little sober now. And like, I remember very vividly, like Myron was there and like the whole family was there, and you were laying in this like makeshift bed, and
Oh, the hospital bed in the middle of the living room?
yes,
That we did work meetings from.
Yeah.
I remember.
we did do that.
I remember very vividly because this was also like one of the first. I think this was the first time I saw you since that incident. Which like obviously you were gone for a little bit, and I mean it was a traumatic thing. Obviously. And I remember you were laying in that bed, and like they were like basically like running down like, hey, like we're gonna have like people from the church like bring meals over, and like you can work from home, and like we're gonna work all this out, like everything will be fine. And I remember you literally saying like, I just feel helpless.
Yeah.
And I remember you were crying at that, and I was like, it really broke my heart because like that was the first time and then the only time I've ever seen
You might
cry.
not know this. Dads are human too.
Yeah.
That's what I'm learning.
Yeah, I know. I've seen him cry once.
Well, that might have been like the incident that I had with Gramps that, like when you become human, it's like that person becomes human to
Yeah.
you because you get to an age where you revere your father or your parents or whatever. And then all of a sudden, like something happens and something clicks and you're just like,
It was hard. It was hard to watch him die.
well, you're just a fucked up person just like me.
Yeah.
All the problems that I have and all the things that I feel, because you think that your father's invincible, but the reality is like, hell, I'm probably more fucked up than most people are anyway. And I'm responsible for raising 3 kids.
Dad had one saying: "It's okay to well up. You just don't want to let one roll down." That was Dad's saying.
Yeah, he did say that. That's pretty bad advice.
It's terrible advice. Fucking get it out. But when this isn't the time that I saw him cry, for the record, but when Dad died, I finally got to go to the hospital because they let more people in during COVID if the motherfucker's dying. So they let me in. So
Yeah, they allow you to see people.
so it was Nikki, Tim, and me, and Nathan had his reasons for not wanting to be there, and whether I agreed with them or not,
I think it just fucked him up too much.
possibly, and that's fine. I'm not here to tell people their beliefs, and I understand that Nathan had beliefs around that. But fortunately for me, Nikki and Tim went to the cafeteria because I kind of relieved them, and I got to say what I wanted to say to Dad, and I got to get my tears out before they got back. Like it's not a manhood thing.
Yeah.
I don't cry, I just don't.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this: when I put my last 2 dogs down, my wife, that's the only time my wife has ever seen me cry. And that was after our family died.
That's probably what you were going to tell me about Maya.
The only time I've ever seen Tim cry was when he called me. "Oh, I don't have a car to take her. Can you come help me take Maya to the vet?" And Maya was old.
You remember Maya?
Of course I remember.
Of course he remembers Maya. You think he's a cunt like you and me?
Hold on, let me start that one. So Maya was my dog for, well, it was
She
really
was 16.
She was 16, but it was really important because it was the dog that we had like through all of their
Right. It's
Believe
like the
me,
dog we grew
I-
up with. Yeah.
I completely understand this. As in the last year, I've put down 2 dogs I've had for 15 years.
So she's just
Sorry.
she's
They're in a box. I say hi to them.
R.I.P. all them. Nathan's down there if you want to say hi.
Where are my birds right now?
Well played.
Anyway,
He
so
wasn't going to tell you.
He ain't gonna answer.
He is.
He threw him in the trash. I know.
Go ahead.
we can talk about that in a minute. But
Later.
me and you picked Maya up and we put her in the back of the car and we took her down there.
And this motherfucker.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. So we go in there.
He shut you down fast. That's
Because he
crazy.
knows that it's going to make him
no,
look real
You
damn
listen to
bad.
Daddy, don't you?
No. I'm going to tell the truth on it. We go in there and I'm like, all right, well, they're like, yeah, we're going to put her down. I'm like, okay, well, all right, well, I was just going to drop her off and leave.
He was going to fucking leave.
And this is what Joseph said to me. Joseph, it's funny because like you wouldn't think this, and this is really bad.
Super sensitive.
Hold on a second. You wouldn't think this, but Joseph has been somewhat of a moral compass for me, which is really bad because you're
I'm
not.
an asshole, but I'm morally stable.
But
To some.
I said, okay. Well, here's the dog, and we were gonna, I was just gonna turn around and leave. And Joseph says, "You get your fucking ass in there." That dog did not. That dog.
You were that dog's entire life.
You were that dog's entire life. That dog
true.
only cared about you. You get in there and you be with her. And I was like, okay. Because that's what I do. It's like I don't want to deal with the emotions of it.
It's not about you. It was about Maya.
Well, I mean, it's about me too, and about.
No, I didn't give a fuck about you. I cared about Maya.
So I go in there and
I like dogs more than people, for the record.
and Joseph was with me, and it was I was really sad about it. Like because.
Shockingly, I did not expect it. I was unprepared.
I didn't know that either.
You start. Oh, I know.
It's not something we talked about. I knew.
Y'all don't talk about a lot.
Well, no,
We were taught not to talk about your feelings.
it's not that. It's that. Here's what happened. It happened. I told Tim that he's being a fucking asshole.
All right.
He did end up doing the right thing,
and Joseph was there with me,
and I stayed there with him.
which I was happy that he
I
was there.
drove so he couldn't leave.
Oh, okay.
That's true.
The truth comes out.
But I'm an asshole, but I give a shit, right? I'm like, I'm an asshole to you. True. You're an asshole to me. Like you are a huge asshole. Just for the record,
Banter. It's banter.
correct. That's our relationship, right?
Yeah, very much.
It's always been our relationship since you were a little kid. That's always been our relationship.
I think that's like where I learned banter was through you.
Possibly.
I'm not even kidding.
Possibly. But it doesn't change the fact that I love you, and I know that you love me because we're family, right? No homo.
Okay, we're good then. We're
That was
good.
gay.
Or as Rico has taught me,
No Diddy.
pause.
Oh, okay. Pause.
I learned pause.
So you're not that kind of uncle. You just.
Well, yeah, the liquor store things differently.
I wasn't trying to be a moral compass, but like,
I mean, it was the right thing to do, and I was just going to drop her off because of all my life I've avoided any of those kind of things with it.
well, I don't know if it's fucked up, but when Dad, Barry, Meemaw, and Nathan all died, Caitlin never saw me cry. My children never saw me cry.
Well, I never shed a tear in it all.
I did in the shower when I was alone.
I did not.
When Mom died, nobody saw me cry. I did in the shower when I was alone because that's how we grew up. You
know
don't
what?
show emotion.
You know what?
But when I put Loki last year and when I put Artie to sleep this year because they were my dogs. They were my dogs for 15 and 16 years. Caitlin saw me cry. I think that might be the first time that Caitlin saw me cry. And the vet was like, do you want... It's just time. Do you want to be here? And I know what the vet is thinking. The vet's thinking, is this guy an asshole?
Right.
Is he going to fucking leave? I'm like, no. I have literally... I got Artie. I got Loki when before Sam was born. I got Artie for Sam when Sam was like 6 months old. No, I'm going to fucking stay here. And they're like, oh, really? Oh, thank God. And then Caitlin, for both of them, watched me cry. And I got my tears out and haven't cried since then. I miss them. And it's not a macho thing that I don't cry.
Right.
Quite honestly, if I was going to cry, sometimes I watch Marley and Me and I want to tear up. Right?
Everybody grieves differently because
Correct.
Because I mean, even with, I mean, Clay died in Clay is our friend from when we were younger. He died in 2001.
Cried in the shower by myself.
Well, what I was going to say is he died in 2001, and I
I'm
didn't.
glad you get the year right now.
I know, because I said 2021 and fucked that up.
Rest in peace, I guess.
R.I.P. Clay. But I didn't even process that, and he didn't even shed a tear about it till 20 years later.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not a macho thing for me. Like, if I need to cry, I'll fucking cry.
Well, it's not a macho thing, but it's weird because like I don't get them. Like I haven't shed a single tear about any of the stuff with any of the stuff that happened in 2021. But I know that I will probably in 15 years.
No, I get it out of the way now. I'm good. But I'm not good.
But what's funny,
For the record, I'm not good at all.
but what's funny about it is
We're all fucked up.
We are.
But what's funny about it is I'll sit there and I'll watch. It depends on how I'm feeling. Like I was literally sitting out here yesterday watching the last episode of The Studio, the season finale of The Studio, which is a funny show. And I started welling up on like
You just can't let one roll down or Freeman Hollis would be disappointed.
that's what I'm saying. Or we'll be sitting up there watching American Idol and it's like there's like an emotional thing and I'm just
you
like
want people to succeed.
Yeah.
yes, I think that's it. But like I'm not an emotional person at the right time. It's like I will process the stuff with our father.
At the right time.
I think that I hold on to Gene, and the reason I'm so connected to him and that I brought him over here is because
I can't imagine that your childhood with Gene Harold was any different than my childhood.
it's not. He was never loving, never cared about any of us or any of that.
You understand Dad more when you spend some time with Gene.
Well, that's what I was going to say. The reason that I have him over here is because he's like my last connection to our dad.
to the old regime.
And it's like, and I told Nikki, I said, when he dies, it's like I don't really care that he dies, and I don't want to sound coarse to the
Do
people.
sound coarse. There are Twitter users right now.
No.
They're typing away.
They're watching the Fairview Social podcast.
They're like, this motherfucker doesn't give a shit that his
they're
grandfather is
canceled.
97,000 years old. And he's going to die.
There's no one
this
that
podcast
cares.
is over.
You have been canceled.
You have been canceled.
But what I'm saying
Thank
is,
you for doing the mic thing. I do that on every podcast I'm on. Nobody else does it. I feel like a cunt.
but there's
You are.
Fair.
I don't care. Look,
bump.
he's 93.
Yeah,
He's
Mom was 93. You know what? It was just her time to go. I'm sorry, Uncle Bobby, if you happen to listen to this because you post the shorts on Facebook, and I guarantee you that motherfucker's listened to your podcast.
Yeah.
Hey, Uncle Bobby.
Oh,
What I was gonna say is
big
that,
old bird.
is that I don't really like. Look, when you're 93, 94 years old, it's like, look, your time has
I don't
come,
want to be 93,
and
94 years old.
I don't either.
and I'm not gonna be upset when he dies, other than the fact that like that's my last connection to the old man. That's the only thing.
How
that
is
I care
he
about.
our connection to the old
I
man?
don't know. It's in my fucked up
It's
head.
Look, I have his Ford that he bought in 93 for Laura. And that is my emotional connection to Granddaddy Gene because one time when I was a teenager, he took me to Sonic for my birthday.
But that's what I'm telling you.
I
is
get it.
that-
that's
What
the
I'm
thing
saying
is,
is I
like,
get it. It's
The
a
mental
weird
process is different.
it's like when we were talking about music, you hear a certain song.
Yeah.
I talked to KV about that. It's like certain things will bring up this memory of you, and that's what Gene is, the last stand of the old man to me.
I guess that's the difference in you. I don't
Exactly.
see Gene as my last connection
Yeah.
to Dad.
But he is to me.
And that's fine. And you know, you can cry like a little baby if you want to cry like a little
Like a
baby.
little bitch boy, huh?
But I live in Dad's house.
Yeah.
I know.
And so I walk through that house that I've completely changed, but I'm like, Mimon, I built that desk for my office, and my computer and my monitor is right there where Dad had his computer and monitor when you come in from the garage.
Yeah.
And I'm like, son of a bitch, I'm Freeman Hollis now.
You are.
Fuck you. I'm Freeman Hollis. I'm Old Man Studios 2.0 because my house is Old Man Studios 2.0.
Well, I'm Holliswood Productions, so
Well,
let's just
that's
get that
acceptable.
clear.
Okay. Well, I've
I
changed.
accept this.
Let's
I
just
changed
make that
this.
clear.
This is going to be Holliswood Studios and the Fairview Social Podcast. This is what this is.
And my house has always been Old Man Studios 2.0.
And in New York, I've taken up Holliswood Productions, and that is what,
We're fucking nationwide.
dude.
All right, let's pause it.
Thank God. What is wrong with your kid?
Listen.
You know, there's always been a gamble.
Hold on.
Don't talk about the gamble.
Oh no, we're going to talk about the gamble. One of y'all is going to be gay.
Hayden.
And here's the thing: is I know on paper I'm the one that everyone's like, that's the gay
recording.
one.
Oh, you're not. You a fag.
We're recording, but look,
canceled.
This is what I was gonna say. Hayden has, for those of you that don't know, Hayden has type 1 diabetes.
Are we live again?
Yes.
You're really shitty about telling us when we're live again.
Why? It's not like you act any different.
I know, but I don't want to say certain things.
All right. So Hayden,
I don't want to be a bigot or a racist.
All right, Mr. No Filter. Yeah, literally publicly.
Hayden has type 1 diabetes.
Yes, sir.
And what you apparently don't understand is when he was diagnosed with diabetes when he was 7 or 8 years old, me and Nikki had to have. I'm not good with numbers.
Just had to clarify.
Don't worry, my beard caught it. It's okay.
All right, you're good.
Me and Nikki had to have all of these classes for years
Really?
about how to handle all this stuff, which he doesn't handle well.
So he didn't know this. Why the fuck do you think I knew this?
But listen, the conversation that we were having while we paused is that Joseph was saying that like Hayden wanted an ice cream cone when he was younger, and no, you can't have that. When you have type 1 diabetes, your pancreas does not make insulin. So no matter what you eat, with the exception of if you're on like a paleo type diet or anything like that, it's like anything you eat is going to spike your insulin. Now, as opposed to
that's fucking fine.
So, hold on. So as
Take a
opposed,
breath, all right?
So as opposed,
you are already ready to just.
I thought we were
shoot
teaming up
shots.
against him, and
So,
now it's flipped.
I'm mutual.
opposed to type
my
2
diabetes.
type 2 diabetes is like, hey, you're a fat ass. Quit eating all of these things so that your insulin,
So you and me versus him.
Yes, exactly. But Hayden, no matter what, he can eat.
Never been diagnosed. I don't go to the doctor.
He can
You
eat.
about to be.
He can eat or drink whatever he wants. But each one of these, because it looks like it's probably a light beer, is probably 100 calories plus probably, 6 or 7 carbs a piece. So he needs to get the insulin for that, which
Fuck you. Pull up the app and tell me what it says about his health right now.
about his health.
Because don't you have an app that says,
No, he doesn't. He doesn't have any of that. So that's another reason I want him home, because I'm worried he's going to die because he's probably not managing his diabetes well.
in my defense,
8.7 carbs in each one of these, by the way.
what I think about when I think about type 1 diabetics drinking alcohol, I go back to our teenage years and I think about Brad. I'm not going to say his full name because I don't want to call him out. I think about our friend Brad.
Yeah.
And he's like, I shouldn't be doing these shots. I'm type 1 diabetic. And he's fucking throwing them back.
Well, liquor has a lot of sugar in it.
Well, you can have whatever you want as long as you get the insulin to make up for it.
Okay, but there are people that manage type 1. You know what? I have no leg to stand on.
And here's the thing. It's
I'm
like
100% out of my element.
Type 2 diabetes has like that, like, oh, you should want to not have as many carbs, sugar, and like exercise. Yeah, you guys are gonna eventually get it. Like, I can tell. Like,
I can tell.
every time I see you, the belly gets bigger. All right, and look, as you take a sip of your beer, go ahead. Anyway, with type 2 diabetes, it's
I've been shamed. I don't know what to do.
type 2 diabetes, yeah, like people should be like making that effort of like, yeah, like
You can live a better lifestyle
because you can cure it.
Yes, and you don't have to have all that.
Type
That's
1,
correct,
there's no
but-
cure.
I'm not saying there's a cure. Please don't be fooled. I don't think that there's a cure for your pancreas being a cunt.
Thank you.
I don't think there's a cure for that.
I don't think that
But-
you can call a pancreas a cunt either.
I can call whatever I want a cunt.
And you know what?
But
I
is-
give full permission because my pancreas is a cunt. Not gonna lie.
But is there not a way to say that as a type 1 diabetic that I have no business commenting on because
As you continue to comment, go ahead.
Yes, you should just keep your mouth shut, just like everyone else.
No, I want
could
to.
you
I
not
want to hear. it. I
manage
wanna
your
hear it.
life better via diet?
I think
No, because his pancreas is not making insulin.
you let me talk for myself.
He's an adult now.
All right, go ahead.
I'm grown.
He's got hickeys on his neck, Tim.
All right, we didn't have to bring it up.
There it goes. I was going to be quiet about it.
I know you were going
don't
to.
know what-
I know that
what-
Joseph was going to say something.
I don't know what part
I knew
of
he
this
was going
made
to.
you think that I was going to shut up about the hickeys on
I
your neck.
knew you weren't going to.
Can we move the camera over to his left?
No, they've already seen it. They already are asking questions.
What's her name?
I know. I'm not going to say her name. On the
I need a full name, social.
It is a pod, not a podcast.
No, I don't need all that. Go ahead. Criticize me for caring about your.
No, I was
well-being.
actually going to agree with you. I think that diabetics, type 1 diabetics, as I am,
In case y'all didn't know, Haydn Hollis is a type 1 diabetic.
and I also own Holliswood Productions in New York City.
He owns a little portion of Holliswood Production.
I've made Holliswood Productions what it is. Let's start with that.
Did
okay?
you finance it?
I did, actually. Anyway, I think that me personally, and also like, other diabetics out there that are listening, because this is a very popular podcast.
I feel like out of the 93 subscribers that Tim has,
97
97,
Yeah, get it right.
I was fucking close
on YouTube.
on YouTube. Maybe 2 of them have diabetic and 1 of them is you.
One of them is me. And I think that going on a diet is a very, very, very smart thing, especially if you want to live as normal of a life as you can.
Okay, do you follow said diet?
I don't. But I think I should. But it's
think you
just
should
hard
too.
because,
I mean,
like,
that's only 'cause I
no
care.
carbs. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
fuck that. I like bread.
give me that bread. You know what I mean?
You got
You whispered in our ear.
when you're type 1 diabetic, no matter what, you have to get insulin for whatever
It's true.
And that's fine. Look, maybe I was.
Type 2, maybe at Thanksgiving you don't eat the pie.
It's not that I was misinformed.
I'm gonna
it's
eat that pie.
At the,
I'm gonna eat it.
At the time, you were freshly diagnosed diabetic, and I didn't want to be responsible for delivering you back to your parents.
And here's the thing.
up.
Here's the thing. You're going to speak when you have no information on anything when us two do. We can accept that. Let's talk about how Holliswood Productions is nationwide now. Okay?
Nationwide is not Holliswood Production. Oh,
Well, I mean, what, New York and Nashville, which are the two most
No. And LA now.
shut the fuck up.
There was an LA magazine about an event that I threw because our sponsor was actually, I'm not going to shout them out on here because this is your guys' podcast.
You shout out whoever you need to shout out to
Whoa,
further your
this is-
career. I don't
Yeah,
give
yeah,
a fuck.
who are you
I
to
don't give a
say?
fuck that this is Tim's.
This is my pod, but you can shout out whenever you want. I agree with Joseph.
I threw a networking event for all creatives in New York around my age because I feel like right after college or like just like in that figuring out like stage, it's really hard to find connections in New York. You'd be shocked. It's just really hard.
I'm not shocked. It's a saturated.
Well, I'm just saying it's like everyone in New York is doing that kind of
Just like-
artistic thing.
Just
and
like
it's
everyone in Nashville is a country singer, right?
Right,
It's the
yeah,
same
yeah.
concept.
So I threw a networking event and I was like, it was called Creative Con, and I was like, I want everyone to just connect, like meet, like, that missing piece of the puzzle is how I described it. And I got burps. So someone that I've worked with in the past, she had a connection to the Storyboard app, which is an app where you can post all of your content and have like actual writers and producers like reach out to you, and like this is big connections app. So they're based in LA, and so they sponsored the whole event, and like it was a great event. It was a lot more successful than I actually projected it to be, which is a common theme of Holliswood Productions, so please follow. But they recently released an article about like how Storyboard app has touched ground in New York basically, and they had a picture of me in there, and like
I'm sorry.
it was a good picture.
Get a little mustache going on.
Hey, it's
One day-
prepubescent mustache.
One day you'll catch up.
I'm not gonna lie. Literally yesterday, I got a haircut, and like they did the full shave process, and I was like, let me keep the mustache. I was like, let me keep what I got. All right.
I'm glad that it took me 40 years to grow this beard so I can talk shit.
No, I look terrible because I only grow like the chin strap.
I know when I was in New York, you had full blown blonde ass chin strap,
That wasn't even full blown. It gets,
you had
it
the
gets
purple
a lot
suit.
worse. Yeah.
and that was baller.
I always tell people
Appreciate that.
because like I always wanted to have a beard so bad when I was in high school, and like I was only able to get like a little bit like on my chin. But then I remember after I turned like 21 or 22, it was just like, so like at some
couldn't grow a beard until I was late 30s.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It just happens different for everyone.
And all I want to do in this world is shave my beard. And Caitlin will not let me.
Hey, Nikki won't let you. Why did I call her Nikki? Mother will not let you.
Well, I mean, I'm a grown ass man. I'll do whatever I want.
You ain't gonna do shit. I know you won't.
But I won't do it because
Well, I mean, if my wife is like, don't shave your beard or else, I'm not going to shave my
Well,
beard.
that's exactly how mom
the
talks to you.
the second part of it is that if I shave my beard, she's gonna cut herself bangs. Ooh. And I was like, luckily, I like to have a beard, and I don't like. I hate it when there's like bangs straight across.
I haven't. All right.
I think mom would look good with bangs.
So I haven't.
She probably looked fine, but I just don't like it.
So I haven't
beard
cut,
then.
I haven't cut my hair since Dad died, and I've kept my beard for the most part. I haven't trimmed it myself.
I can tell.
You didn't let me finish.
No, you can finish.
Since Dad died, until I started going to a barber and they started they would trim my beard.
My bad.
It's been 6 months. It's not the barber's fault. I trimmed my own mustache this last time. I did an awful job. I'm aware of it. I just can't stand it when I'm trying to eat a burger or pizza because I'm a fat fuck. And
True.
Fuck you. You don't know. You don't know shit.
But basically, that's all I was saying was like Storyboard is based in LA, and there's an LA.
So Holliswood Productions is 3 states across the country.
I would say so. Yeah.
I agree with this.
That's a nice little triangle.
I would say Jersey too.
Hold on.
So 4 states.
New York Giants play in Jersey too. They're still the New York Giants.
But it's Jersey.
So
It's still another state. Let me add it to the resume.
let me ask you, not you.
Oh,
All right,
You shut the fuck up.
telling the host to shut the fuck up. Go ahead.
that's acceptable.
Let me get my mic. Shut the fuck up.
Oh, this is about to be serious.
How much of Holliswood Studios do you, Haydn Hollis, own?
That's my company, baby. I'm the full creative director and owner of Holliswood Productions. We have partners every once in a while, but it's my company.
Let me rewind all this for everyone.
Go ahead.
So this is Holliswood Studios.
Yes.
Home base?
Holliswood Productions.
Would this be like Holliswood Studios home base?
Holliswood Productions is Haydn's.
So hold on.
Hang on. This is Holliswood Studios. Let's rewind this a little bit even further.
I'm going to turn my back to Haydn because you want me on camera.
If you listen to Burt Hester's podcast,
I miss you.
you would have heard that the Holliswood came from. Burt used to come out there and be like Holliswood.
I know what Holliswood comes from.
Okay.
I was just asking how much Haydn owns.
He owns all of Holliswood Productions.
Of Holliswood Productions.
Okay.
This is Holliswood Studios.
I understand this.
And the Fairview Social is in Holliswood Studios. Two Sad Dads, if we ever get together again,
I've tried.
will be in Holliswood Studios. So there you go.
I did it as I knew that I wanted to start a production company because like I'm writing a lot and I'm directing a lot, producing a lot, and I was really trying to think of like what would be the name. And I know that like the sign out here says Holliswood on it, and it was like a tribute to Gramps. And
Does it?
Old Man Studios.
Y'all go ahead. Y'all continue.
Old Man Studios.
What he's gonna see is it's gonna say Holliswood Studios, Old Man Studios 2.0.
Studios 2.0.
Yes.
This has been a point of contention for years for me.
For him, that's all right. I can take it down and put a
don't give
Holliswood Studios on there.
I don't give a shit about what's a point of contention for you, all right? Let's start with that. Okay?
Let's start with that. He said.
Touche.
Hayden gets about 3 or 4 beers in him. And he's ready to
3 or
go.
4. I'm 5 or 6 right now.
I mean, I'll admit, I'm a little impressed with his diabetic ass.
Everything goes back to my diabetes, doesn't it? Is that how you see me?
Just alcohol.
All right.
She's diabetic.
Apologize for giving a fuck about your life.
I
was misinformed apparently, and I just cared.
I really wanted Holliswood Studios to be like this is like a tribute to our family because I know
Holliswood Productions.
yeah, Holliswood Productions is like a tribute to our family, and like I wanted to make it like something because I also knew that like Gramps wanted like kind of like a music thing out of like Holliswood or something like that. I don't know like the full background of it.
All right, well, let me give you the background of it.
Give me the background as I take a sip of my Kona Big Wave, not sponsored.
So
we made a special trip for that Kona Big Wave.
We did go to Walmart after the liquor store after I made him look like a pedophile.
So after
I don't like the lack of context. I'm not a pedophile.
So
Can we tell the story real quick?
yeah, y'all go ahead and tell that story.
Go ahead, Mr. Holliswood Productions.
Basically, we just went up to the counter with
We went to Fairview Liquors.
Fairview Liquor Store, which is right beside Walmart, and we got the cigars because I was like, I want some Kona, so can we go to Walmart after? And he was like, yeah, I don't give a shit. And so we came up with the cigars, and like we showed our IDs and whatever. And
Hold on. I don't know why I got ID'd in this situation. Number one, I'm 40 plus.
that's a good man right there. He's double checking.
That's fair.
Yeah, he's making sure that he's following the law.
I wouldn't be surprised if the police show up after this conversation.
Yeah. So then he was like, why are you hanging out with such a young guy?
I can't believe he said that.
I was like, he's my nephew.
Yeah,
I swear to you, he's my
so
nephew.
fast.
And this motherfucker didn't be like, he wasn't like, oh yeah, I'm his nephew. He's like, no, he's taking me back to his place.
Did you really?
And I was like, hold on, let's clarify. I'm going to his place, and then I realized
You didn't help at all.
any better.
And I was like, he said something about like touching me or what?
And the lady behind you was like, "What the fuck is happening?"
You really said that?
yeah,
He's
I
gonna
said,
touch me.
Yes. And I was like, I don't know what to say. He's my nephew. We're going back to his place.
And then as we were leaving, I was like, I just met this guy.
You really leaned into it. But I'd like to point out that he went to buy cigars, not a fucking bottle of Jack.
Yeah.
He walked up to the counter with 3 of.
The most expensive
Just
cigar.
to clarify, we didn't pick these cigars of actual.
I'm sure I paid for them.
You did. We said Apple Car.
We did not pick these cigars based on the fact that we know
They're
fuck
good
all
or-
about
yeah,
cigars.
yeah.
We looked at the prices of every one.
We found the most expensive.
the most expensive.
Because you said you would pay, so we were
We
like,
bought 3 and then put them on your charge account. Now, just to balance it, I did pay for the beer that we bought at Walmart.
well, thank you.
that's only because they didn't have tap to pay. I was trying to use my Apple Card.
What's wrong with y'all?
You offered to pay, so we were like, all right, we're going to take advantage of this.
Let me take a look at these.
So these 3 cigars are $25.99 a piece.
Good Lord. You know what's funny about it is like I told Nikki, I said, I don't want Haydn to go get the cigars because he'll get some cheap shit. I'll just go get us some decent, like,
Congrats.
middle of
$11.99 a piece.
yeah, middle of the road ones, and you guys get $30 cigars.
It was $90 for these 3 cigars.
It was 85. Yeah.
Yeah, cut them up. Let's fucking smoke them. Fuck it.
All right, well, we got a lighter,
Let's get our little set going right here.
a little set going.
The thing I got you as a gift.
You don't need a humidor when you're smoking it, you dumbass.
I'm saying there's an ashtray on that fuckface. Damn.
Good Lord, this is getting way out of hand.
This is gonna be your best podcast ever. Don Buffalini was actually your like most legit, like realistic podcast, and then you have me, who has no filter apparently.
Well, New York side.
And now we've thrown a Haydn into it, and everything's just melting down.
Yeah,
You got a cutter?
well,
There's one in that thing.
get that thing, but I'm more concerned that we don't have a lighter.
You want me to run up? I'll run up. You got one in the house?
Do you have a?
Do we need to pause?
Ask Jack. He's a teenager.
It does smell really, really good. Here,
I'm gonna get fucking.
here, let's pause it right now.
That's nice.
All right, back with some cigars. Now we're doing the man thing.
Hey, this full manly podcast right here.
Holliswood Studios is getting smoked out with cigars. When I'm sitting out here watching TV tomorrow, I'm probably going to be unhappy about it, but it's a special occasion.
In September of this year, it'll be 10 years since I've had actual tobacco.
Well, here is not really tobacco. It's a cigar. Mm-hmm. It's not like smoking a cigarette.
If you had a pair of balls, you'd know that. Just letting you know.
But what I learned while we were on a break here is that I spent... Let's rewind here. I told Joseph, I said, hey, give me an ashtray while you're getting the cigars, because the thing that Haydn got is probably good for 2 people. And we'll have another ashtray here just in case, and we'll have it for the future. Get a nice one. Don't get some shitty one. So that translated to Joseph as don't get the ashtray don't get the ashtray that I asked for, and get $30 cigars, 3 of those. Get 3 of those on my dime.
On his dime.
And so now we're smoking.
$25.99 Cohibas.
That's $30 Cohibas.
I mean, I'd like to point out that these were not chosen by quality,
by quantity.
They were chosen by Haydn and I, who have no business being responsible for cigars.
Or with my father's wallet.
100%. I have no fuck to give there. But we're going through this humidor, and we just found the most expensive ones we could find.
I'll see that.
Literally, that was our deciding factor, was which was the most expensive.
So all you cigars aficionados, we're smoking Cohiba fucking Cohibas.
Well, when Haydn wanted to do a manly pod, because he's 21 now, I knew that I was going to go buy the cigars because I didn't want him to come back with some kind of, what are those ones that are at the gas station?
Like Swisher Sweets and shit?
Yeah, like a Swisher Sweet.
I wouldn't come back with that. Let's be real.
And so I wanted to get a decent cigar, but a $30 cigar...
a little excessive.
Is a way excessive on my dime. So
I mean, I wasn't paying for it, so I didn't care. But I felt bad, so I bought the beer.
Only because my Apple Pay didn't work. I'm drinking it.
I know, but the
beer that you got is pointless because I have 2 kegs here.
That's okay, because that means I'll get to take 11 beers home.
Well, I mean, I might keep those here as payment.
No, that's Coors Banquets are staying here.
On top of that, I didn't get my ashtray.
Well, let's clarify. Number one,
let's do that.
I am a full believer that if you go to an event, to a friend's party, to a brother's cookout, to a brother's pod, whatever beer you bring, you know what? If there's anything left when you leave, you just fucking leave it. I don't think I've ever actually left your house with a beer that I've brought.
Well, I would like to kindly disagree, because you've left with beer before.
When have I left with beer? I've left you those Kentucky bourbon barrels. Holy fuck.
I'm just destructive like that.
Well, I hope that you don't plan to leave with whatever's left of this Kona wave.
I don't actually intend to leave with the banquet. I was just making a joke, but I don't typically leave with the beer that I bring. I usually try to be a good guest and leave. I'm smoking a cigar, and I hadn't had tobacco in 10 years.
So Haydn bought me
Sorry to break that habit.
a gift from New York from Amazon.
A cigar is okay. A cigarette that's where I would draw the line.
A gift that Haydn brought was a nice little humidor to put in here in Holliswood Studios, not to be confused with Holliswood Productions.
Hey, is that what we were talking about before we went to piss and find a lighter?
Yes, we were talking about Holliswood Productions.
We did come back. You did come back with pizza.
Hey,
that's a hard flex.
Hey, when Mama put some pizza in your hands, you just gotta run with it. You know.
I don't know if you know this, but my mama's dead, so I don't get to experience this.
Your mom's dead.
That is true, and she is dead.
So anyway, I hope you're sad.
What else you guys got? Let's not be dumb here.
What were we talking about? You had things lined up, and you have a little baggie under here. And
well, let's get to that in a second. I would like to also circle back to I wasn't fully done with my perspective.
All right, let's hear it.
On what? His fatherhood?
Parenting, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I was going to say, like, because we got into the whole conversation about when we saw him cry only one time in our lives.
All right.
Each on different occasions.
Yes. I think this podcast has, one, opened up a creative avenue for you that I've never seen in you, because I've always seen Mom as the creative type and me as a creative type, and even Eli and Jack have like their creative moments, but like I've never seen you have a creative avenue like that. And so whenever you talked about this whole idea and you like pursued it in a way, I was very much like, oh wow, like is this something like that he's actually into, or like what's the deal with it? And whenever you got into it, I was like, this is exactly what, from my perspective, I needed to see from him, in the sense of like, I'm a very creative person in general. That's like my job. Hollis Productions. Shout out.
I know that you're being like serious and like.
Go ahead and make fun of it.
I'm not. I'm and like wholehearted, but I can't smoke that cigar. I went back to my vape. So go ahead.
So you're going to let that $30 cigar fizzle out?
It's okay. He didn't pay for it.
It's okay.
It's okay. He didn't pay for it.
I don't want to be an asshole, and I will try it again in a second. But
That's
you know,
all
I
right.
smoked for 19 years. It's just not for me anymore.
You don't have to do that. That's fine.
And you know what? I used to vape too.
It'll-
And I grew a pair of balls, and I was like, you know what?
You're
Cigars are the
goddamn
way to
21
go.
years old.
Yeah. And all through college, I vaped, and guess what? I stopped, and I was like, hey, let me be mature and an adult. And then I picked up cigars.
I'm sorry. Go back to wholehearted family. Tim.
Well, I was going to say that you say that about the podcast, but you're like the only fan of Chester Boom that I know of. That was a creative thing that I did.
That's true. That's true.
always
Well, I'm
been-
saying like now that like, you know, Chester Boom's like done. Like, and it's something I'd like to like pick up and continue. Like we've talked about, like I'd like to pick up Squid and actually release that song as an actual song, with us two on it. But that's like a future project. But this podcast, I feel like one has been a good creative outlet for you, and also two, like, is exactly kind of like what you're saying as far as like your kids are finally getting an understanding of like who you are as not just an enforcer, but as a person, as a man, as a human being. Because like, again, like growing up, I've always seen you as like, yeah, dad, you know what I mean? And again, I noticed in another podcast, I never realized like how much I didn't know about your guys' like childhood and growing up and like all of these things. And so to have this podcast where you're talking about different avenues of your life with each guest, and also talking about these guests and like, you know, the way that they've lived their lives and the things that they're pursuing, I think it's really nice. And I try to watch every podcast, and I think it gives me a deeper connection and also like understanding of who you are as a person, rather than just like my father. You know what I mean?
I think that you have the ability now with the technology the way that it is to see versions of your parent, both of them, that Tim and I didn't have. Like, did you know that your grandfather got kicked out of MTSU for partying too much?
I didn't know that.
That's think about Gramps and think about him getting kicked out of MTSU because he partied too much and joined the National Guard because of it. Like that shaped these two generations of Hollis sitting right here.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think about that.
But it's just also crazy to think about like how that shaping you guys and Nathan as like parents and as kids and as men then shaped like, you know, me, Eli, Jack, and then like Oliver and Sam and like all these things. Like it's crazy to think about like just the process of it all. And like how do we get to this point where like you're actually happy that like your kids are growing up this way, and like how you feel like, am I doing the right thing as a parent or as a dad, or, you know, all these things.
I don't know. Nathan, it's a weird one. Never agreed with or
gone.
approved of any decision Nathan has made, but Nathan was a damn good father.
Yeah.
Shockingly good. Like he was really good with Evans. And that's weird to me because he was weird.
I don't know if he was or not. I mean, I'd like to think that he was, but I wasn't there. Maybe Kate has a different opinion of that.
All right, that's possible. All right, so I don't have Evan's perspective on this, But I have what I saw with Nathan and Evans, and shockingly, good father. That's all I have to say about Nathan.
All right. Unless you have something to say, I'd like to bring out my bag real quick.
All right, bring out your bag.
Let's see this
So
bag.
for our guests,
I was gonna wrap this thing up here pretty soon, but you go
hey,
ahead.
I think this is a good little ending segment.
I mean, for the record, you have this much to talk, so
It's true. You guys got to get through that before we finish the podcast.
I mean, that could
And we literally just opened the cigars. What you mean you better close up the the segment?
all right. Well,
you know, Tim's always like, I'm done
done with
doing
this."
this podcast, so we're gonna end it right here. I'm like, I still have more to say.
all right. What do you got? We go another hour or so.
I mean, I don't have anything off the top of my head, but
So
I thought this was an organic.
I
podcast.
told my father, the host of this podcast,
Okay.
that cut
Provecho.
over there.
Provecho.
Him.
That's him right there.
Okay. We got.
That I had some bits planned, and most of them are for our personal podcast, and all of them that I've thought of have been like, this clip is going to go viral.
All right, for the record, I don't want to steal any of this. So if you need to save this for Sunday, you can save it.
No, I think you're going to have a good reaction to this, which is why I'm choosing.
I'm here for it. I just don't want to.
Which is why I'm choosing to bring this out now rather than our podcast on Sunday. But I know that my father, and I don't know about you, Joseph, but I know my father is a big fan of the Joe Rogan podcast.
Okay.
And I know he's a big fan of Theo Vaughn also.
Yeah. I like those.
And a
You're
special.
going to have Theo Vaughn on your podcast?
I email him weekly. I told hold on before you do that. I told him in the last email that I wrote.
Stanned him, didn't you?
I did. I told him. I said, Theo, this is starting to feel like Stan, Eminem, and Stan, as because he lives in Nashville. So I'm like, I can get him.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he lives in Nashville. So I'm like, come on out to Holliswood Studios. But anyway, he's not here.
So
But Hayden's here.
true, and that's just as good, right?
I think it's better because I've never listened to Theo Vaughn, so
I appreciate that.
He's pretty funny.
All right, well, on their specific episode, I think that was their first episode together. They tried a certain something together.
Monster or no? Oh, you didn't bring the smelling salts.
I did indeed bring.
is this like legit? Oh my god, I've never had a smelling salt.
So here, let me give you a story, viewers. This is the smelling salt.
You've
I
already
brought.
opened it.
No, I just opened it to break the seal. I didn't open it to smell it yet. But I will say, I ordered one from Amazon before this. That was like a different smelling salt, and I tried that one, and that one wasn't as strong, but it was still like punches you in the nose with it.
All right. So for the listeners, Joe Rogan sometimes will have Theo Vaughn on. Actually, Joe Rogan does this to some of a lot of the guests that come on. Is there's these smelling salts, and what they are is it's like if you watch a boxing match or like an MMA fight.
Or even just powerlifting.
I'm so happy that Tim's trying to explain MMA and boxing to me right now.
I don't know.
An expert.
I don't know anything about it. But anyway, they put this shit in front of the people's noses because it fucking wakes you up.
For the record, the majority of the population knows what a smelling salt is.
I don't know.
No, actually, everyone that I've like mentioned this to, they don't know what it is.
So what's funny is like when Theo and Joe Rogan were on, and they and Joe Rogan's like, "Hey, you want to try the smelling salt?" Theo's like, "Yeah, give me some of that."
Yeah.
It fucks you up.
So
Are we about to smell a salt?
we're about to smell some salt.
I don't know if I can do this. I'm a little scared.
You're gonna do it.
All right.
So basically, let me start with saying this: the smelling salt that I bought before this is like light smelling salt. This is the strongest one in the world.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the one that they got, because like I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you remember in the podcast, like as soon as they opened the bag and like not even opened the seal yet, they were smelling it.
Oh yeah, he opened the bag and he's like,
"Whoa."
Joe Rogan of all people,
Right. So smelling salts are a salt from a specific mountain. I don't know exactly which one, but they're all natural, I believe. And basically, you take a whiff.
Have you done as much research into this as I
Nope.
did into your diabetes?
No. Oh, wait, actually, yeah, probably as much, just as much, because it's little to none.
I'm sorry I cared.
So basically, they're for power lifters or like athletes to give them a like quick, like big shock to their body, basically. And so
This is gonna be
I
bad.
think it would
I'm worried I'm going to have a heart attack right here on the
I think it would be a very good clip of each of us doing a smelling salt.
Well, I'm okay with it, but you go first.
I'll go first, and like I said, I've had a
Fuck it, I'll go first.
I've had a lighter one before, so I don't know how heavy.
I don't actually want to go
Well,
first.
I gotta show you guys how to do it first because
You mean I
don't want to
suck?
just like you don't want to do that. It literally says be careful around your eyes. So
Be careful around
This
your
is like hot ones. Careful around your eyes.
So you've done one of these before.
yes, a lot lighter one than this one.
Let me look at the package on
I
it.
don't know what to expect from this one. I do know that as soon as I open the box to this one,
This is probably gonna be the best part of the podcast, just for the record. This is gonna,
as soon as I opened the box to this one, I was like, oh, we're fucked. Because I smelled it automatically, and it was sealed and everything.
All right, so this
Is
says,
this gonna help me stay awake for my drive home?
and
Yes.
I'll show this on. I'll show this.
I'm gonna sleep tonight.
I'll show this to the camera. It's
I
called.
might die right now.
It's called Ah.
Real monsters.
World's strongest smelling salt. So here's what it looks like here. And it's called Ah, and it's most sophisticated formula.
Did I expect this? This was not on my bingo card for 2025.
World's
Good
strong-
bit though. It's a
All
good
right.
bit.
I like it.
But it's in this bag right here, but it's actually a bottle inside the bag. That's
it's a
how much
bottle?
it's sealed.
Yeah.
Feel it.
I thought this would be like a little pouch that you like tear to the top.
No.
So Hayden's gonna
I'll do it first.
Hayden's gonna
Let me
start
show
us
you guys how
off.
to do it.
Hold on, I want to open it.
All right. Be careful because you gonna get a little smell of that.
And then you won't want to do it.
Holy fuck!
Let me see it. Let me see
No,
that.
you don't want to do it because you won't. You'll pussy out because you're a bitch.
We on the podcast now. Look, hey.
My
Look.
left eye is
And
already
that's
teared.
not even opened yet.
This is gonna be bad.
It's just the bag here.
What do you sniff?
It's literally the salts inside.
Like you just open the bottle and I sift the bottle.
Here's what I do. Here's what I do with the last one. Viewers,
Oh, they're in there.
they're in this bottle.
So you're gonna pull one out.
I already took the seal off. No, we're gonna unscrew it and just smell.
It's funny because on the Rogan and Theo Vaughn podcast, they take a sniff of it, and then Joe Rogan's like, "Oh shit," and then Theo's like, "Let me hit that again," and he takes it, and then Joe Rogan says, "Well, I don't want to leave you in." What does he say? I don't want to leave you in two sniff field or whatever alone. So he takes another one. You gonna do this?
I'll do it. I'm not happy about this. I want to clarify.
Hey, these three clips that are about to go out are gonna be the most viral clips he's had.
Yeah, that's well played.
Take this, Eric Freeman.
Hey, this is what I was texting him before while I was in New York. I was like, "Hey, just trust that I know like what's gonna get you a good clip or not." So, and I know what you like. I know you like the Joe Rogan podcast. So I was like, "Let's fucking do it."
This is very well thought out. I fucking hate you for it.
So we got cigars, we got beer, we got smelling salts. I mean, good lord, we got some pizza over there.
All right, y'all ready?
No, absolutely not.
I'll do it first. I'll do it first.
You do it first.
And like, I really feel like
Maybe you need to let Bennett do it first.
no, Bennett needs to go.
Can you clarify what I
Bennett's
need to do?
gonna die.
Because you gotta. To me, I'm thinking of like.
I don't even know that it's going to get close enough to your nose.
Can I see the bag?
Here's the thing. It's like I've already I broke the seal on the inside. I didn't smell it yet, but I broke the seal and I saw that there's these big literally this big crystals
It says.
in there.
It says. Hold on. It
Go ahead.
says.
Go ahead.
It says instructions. Number 1. Do not stick under other people's noses.
Don't kill other people.
Number 2, keep away from eyes and face when opening bottle.
Okay,
right.
bottle's already open.
Store upright. Fuck that. I don't give a shit about that. Replace cap immediately.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually tell you how to use it. It tells you what not to do.
Here's the thing: is like it's supposed to be more of like a waft thing, like this. I'm gonna shake it.
Let Bennett
Don't
take
give
it.
it to the
No,
fucking
Bennett's
dog.
gonna die. That's
Look,
what's
he
gonna happen.
wants it. He
No.
wants to smell
I don't
it.
want to be. I don't want to be here. When he dies.
Get out of here. Yeah.
I already watched you watch one dog die. I don't want to watch you watch 2 dogs.
Look.
Yeah. I'm about to see him.
let him smell the bag. Then.
Oh, the dumbass Labrador wants to smell everything.
let him
literally.
smell the bag there.
Benito.
Open it up. Let him smell the bag.
Why am I the one doing
Watch him. He's like, I don't know about this.
Skinny Benito does not care.
So what I'm going to do, and what I suggest you guys do, at least with my experience with the last smelling salt, which isn't as strong as this one, is I'm going to shake it, open it real fast. As soon as I'm done shaking it, I'm going to bring it to my nose, and as soon as I smell it, it's like shock.
You know what? I'm trying to think how this.
To the left.
I'm trying to think of how this played out when you took this on the plane.
It was in my check bag.
Do you think the dog smelled that?
Wait, sir.
No, man.
I don't think they gave a shit.
Last time I got on a plane, I was high. I'm not exactly a.
It's about to be high again, honestly. I don't know what this is going to do to us. I'm not going to lie. We might be like energized for like the next 24 hours.
All right. Go ahead.
Let me get a little hit of this cigar real quick.
That cigar ain't gonna help you.
I don't have enough nicotine in this one.
All right, y'all ready?
Yep.
Absolutely not.
Get your little clip ready.
Look, Bennett's ready too. He probably liked the smell of that.
Ready? I'm just going to go for it, too.
I mean,
I'm going to bring it right to my nose, too. I feel like this one, you got to smell it from, like, right here.
there's been bad decisions made.
I'm going to go, like, right here.
Do it.
Ready?
Yeah.
We're ready. Are you ready?
Look at it.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh shit! Look at it.
All right, tell us about it.
I haven't even done it. I'm crying.
Look at it.
Oh, my gosh.
So what? So tell us about it.
You took a big ol' hit.
Don't bring it that close to your nose. Oh, my gosh.
What was wrong with it?
Everything.
Oh, my gosh. You just got to experience
You just got to experience.
This is like the one chip challenge, but it's worse.
It's literally that for your nose. Oh, my gosh. I'm still, like, struggling.
Are you gonna be able to eat food over the next couple days?
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Bennett.
Oh, my gosh.
What did it?
I'd like to point out that you're next, bitch.
Did it sting your nose?
Yeah, a lot. Oh, my
No, I'm not next. You said you were gonna go first.
I said to the left.
Your turn.
Fuck it.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Here, right here.
Let Bennett smell it. He wants.
I'm not gonna do that to the dog. I like dogs more than people.
Hey, hang on a second.
Oh God.
Let him outside.
How did I end up with this?
Close the door. There you go.
Oh God.
Get your clip.
He says, "Get your clip."
I'll be honest with you. I was okay with doing this until I saw you do.
No, you should be scared. I'm not gonna lie. That was way worse than my last one.
Are you awake?
Well, even Theo and Joe didn't put it that close up to their nose.
That was a mistake.
Look at him. I ain't doing that shit.
Yes, you are.
Look at Joseph. What did it do to you? Look at it.
Oh my god.
What is it doing?
It's by far the worst thing I've ever experienced in my life. Oh my God. I can't fix.
You still got the cat.
I can't do it. It hit me. I did not expect that. Can I have?
Y'all are stupid. I ain't doing that shit.
I did this shit for you. Can I have a goddamn paper towel?
You put it right in your nose too, stupid.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Does it burn your nose?
Yes. It's so bad. I'm shocked there's no blood.
Wait, let me see him.
Oh God! No, I'm not doing that shit.
Yes, you are.
The fuck you aren't. I'm never coming. Oh my God, my nose.
Fucking drooling all over yourself. Oh God! No!
There's no way to describe it.
It hurts.
No, absolutely not. God damn.
I can't even get my headphones back on.
God, what's wrong with you?
I changed everything good I've said about you in this 3 hours. I take back. You're the biggest piece of shit I've ever
I was
met.
helping this podcast.
It's like sticking your face in like
Oh,
1,000.
gosh.
It's like sticking your face in 1,000 litter boxes.
my
That's what it's.
No, it's so much worse than that. I'm
God,
drooling.
My nose is drooling.
world's strongest. No, you guys are stupid. I'm not doing that shit any more than that.
And you see what he did? He did this. We did this.
I know, y'all are idiots. I'm not.
I need another paper towel, please. I can't see. I don't have my glasses on. I don't know what's happening.
This is what drugs feels like.
No, it's not. I promise you, it's not.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, I think that this is a really bad.
I need you to know that I hate your fucking son right now.
This is a really.
This is gonna be the most viral clip.
That was all right. Hold on. Don't. I need to say that was. Oh my God, my glasses are fogging up.
It's like still in my nose.
That was 100 times worse than I expected it to be. Like, I had an expectation, and I was like, "Oh, he's being a little bitch," but I can take it.
Can I be honest?
I
I had motherfuckers drilling on my teeth last week. No numbing cream. I was fine. That was so fucking bad.
I'll be honest. That was way worse than I thought it was gonna be. That was nothing compared to what I had before.
So what I've learned from this experience is that your father's a cunt,
Yep, and so like.
and you are too for making me do it. But he's a cunt for not doing it.
You know what? I did it far enough away that I wasn't going to be that messed up
I
because
know, but I wanted to.
Yeah, we gonna be messed up for the rest of the day.
I can't put my glasses back on.
I can't either.
that was really bad.
I've never been in a situation in my entire life where I can't put my glasses back on.
Maybe you need to hit it with a scar.
I don't need. I don't need to hit off. Well, that's not true. I need my vape.
All right, so
Tim,
we're gonna wrap.
No, Tim, listen. I gotta be honest. I've done some dumb shit in my life. But that might be the dumbest thing I've ever done.
I think I could lift anything with smelling that though.
I don't think I can lift it. All I can do is cry and snot all over everything. But this is a Hollis family podcast. And I love you guys, but I fucking hate you right now.
Well, the reason that I didn't do that right in my nose is because I'm not a fucking idiot.
Or you're a bitch.
That may
Maybe
be
both.
true. But Haydn, welcome home.
A good welcome.
I hope you guys have enjoyed yourselves. And
A good one.
That's worse than when I got pepper sprayed at the National Guard.
you guys are stupid. All right, we'll see you later.
See ya.